Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem. I'm not important, but we got my brother from another mother, but we got the same father, which is this is Badger. Badger's with us early this morning. Badger, good morning. How you
Good
doing this morning?
morning. Oh,
Good
man.
morning, Badger. Badger ain't gonna let me finish my sentence. He gonna jump in there and say, "Morning, morning."
Good morning.
Badger, I'm gonna play a video. Let me see. Somebody just sent me something this morning. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. It's Friday. Today is what we call Black Conversation, and we say that. And I was asked the question, why, is it a black conversation? No, 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 no. That's just what we call it. It's just a title. Anybody, black, white, orange, polka dot, if you're lily striped, if whatever it is, you can certainly be a part of this conversation. We encourage you to call in. We just talk about different topics. But don't never get in your mind that we talking. This is black. No, it's not black talk. It's maybe black people talking, but anybody could come in and talk with us. Badger, you black Badger?
No, man.
Okay, but don't you talk with us every day?
Yes, sir.
There you go. There you go. And so there you have it right there. So don't get caught up in a title. Don't get caught up in a title because um everybody is inclusive. We include everybody. Let me say good morning to a few people. Good morning to two what's that two gold? I think that's what they're saying. Incognito. That's a fancy name. I love that. And I'm telling you, everybody that's on our big over there, somebody told me that I need to have an audition. See, they wanted me to be a host and different things of that nature on the platform. I have no idea how to do that. I guess I got to be invited in. Somebody got to invite me in or whatever it is. If anybody know how to do that, send me an email. My email address is heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Heaven said yes at gmail.com. If you know how to do that, I'm not familiar. I just love the broadcast. I just love being a part of the platform. But they said if I become a host, there's other perks and other benefits involved in it. So if anybody over there know anything about that, please inform me. Let me know. Again, my email is heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Says somebody I need to have an audition. I don't know nothing about that, man. Just let me know what I need to do, and I take care of my end of it, and I make sure that it's done. Now we got I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have Mr. Hicks. Good morning, Mr. Hicks. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem family. Go. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna play a video for you all this morning, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit, and we're gonna certainly get into another conversation. I got a conversation that I'm very interested to find how everybody's going to deal with this conversation today. It could be a cut and dry situation. People and people could take an approach. I don't care. And if they take that approach and they say I don't care, it's going to kill the conversation from the start. But if they really dub into it and deal with the conversation that I hope that we're going to have today, I think it could be beneficial going forward. But right now, let me play this. I'm gonna play this clip real quickly, and we're gonna comment on this clip. This is a man talking about sports. He's talking about sports. Here we go. Let's play it. There you'll see exactly what I mean.
How they're treated and perceived in our society. Tom Brady is the GOAT of the NFL. He's won, what, like 7 Super Bowls or something? His reported net worth from his earnings is like $200 million. Last year he made like $89 million, and he's got a $375 million 10-year contract with Fox. And it is once he decides to finally retire. And yet,
Okay, it cut off. I figured it was gonna do that. I figured it was gonna do that. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go. Let me see. Excuse me. What he's talking about. Excuse me, y'all. What he's talking about. He's actually comparing three quarterbacks. He's comparing Tom Brady, which he said right there. I'm gonna try to find a whole video so I can actually play it. But he's talking about three NFL football players, quarterbacks. One is Tom Brady, which he said right there. You heard he say he's the GOAT. Talk about how even after his career is over, he have a contract with Fox, and he's going to make over $300 million over I think 20 years or whatever it is. He's going to make that much money. He spoke about him and say how what he did, even with all that money, Tom Brady went out there and he got a PPP, a $1 million PPP loan. And he was like, man, I don't understand how he could do that. He had plenty of money. His wife has plenty of money. Why would he go out there and get a PPP loan? Then he talked about Brett Favre. He said Brett Favre, with all this money, you know, he went and he stole money. I just say it like it is. He stole money from an organization that's supposed to be for the homeless there in Mississippi. He got got all that money, millions of dollars. He stole it from them out of Mississippi. And he said how he don't understand how he could do something like that, and it could be not looked upon in a way that it should be looked upon with the injustice that it is. Then he spoke about Michael Vick. He said Michael Vick, he was an upstanding student. He fought dogs, and he spent 17 months in prison for fighting dogs. Lost all of his endorsements, lost all of his contracts, and everything. He's saying that there's an injustice. He said there's an absolute injustice in how these three men were treated. He said, and this is one of our Caucasian brothers. He said that Brett Favre, he channeled on Brett Favre. He said that Brett Favre should be locked up. He said Brett Favre should be locked up in prison somewhere for what he did, stealing from he said Mississippi. Now I don't know, Mr. Hicks, you might know a little bit more about this than I do. Badger, you may know as well. He said Mississippi is one of the poorest states that we have. I said country, Lord Jesus, one of the poorest states that we have, and to have somebody of his magnitude that's a multimillionaire, going to be probably a multimillionaire for the rest of his life because of what he's doing and all the money that's coming in from all the things that he's been a part of, to go and to steal that money from them people like that. He said he should be locked up. Mr. Hicks, what do you think? What's on your heart concerning that?
Wow. I guess I mean when I look at it, I get so I guess if I let myself go, I can get so frustrated with the corruption that's sprinkled all the way through the system, all the systems, and it goes back to the very nature of man. Basically, there are people that chose to do good. I just recognize that in this later stage of my life, choosing to do good, and to choose to do the right thing and do the good thing is based off stuff that's invisible stuff. It's like it's a thing of, I don't know, it's having a challenge. I needed a challenge in my life. I needed an adventure in my life. And the venture for me is just doing good in a world where people around you do wrong.
Yeah.
Where it's so easy when no one is looking, in those little personal areas, the private areas that you have a chance. I was thinking in the market, right? I go to the market, and when I shop, I don't know, maybe my swag or whatever it is, there's a kind of mystery about me. And I notice the people up northern anyway, down in Alabama, they sort of keep their eye on me. But over time, as I shop these markets, I see the ladies that work there, well, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And speaking, because they evaluate me through the basic things about people. People will steal.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the college thing, with those rich people paying to get their kids into college, with all the stuff all the way through the line. So I think it's a time to take a personal challenge in your life, right? That you got to do the right thing. Brett Favre, I mean, all that stuff, all the whole game they play. But we'll see how they do it. It's like I said, Michael Vick was a perfect opportunity with those latent, subconscious, subliminal kind of a prejudice of racism that exists. To me, I always go back to that thing, Darwin theory of evolution, survival of the fittest in the selected races, the white race. So it's rooted so deep into everything. But we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
I mean, a whole bunch of people to be in jail. If put everybody in jail that need to be in jail. I mean, I'm not talking about those low level property crimes and the community kind of stuff. They're bad. I mean, really, it's bad. If you start getting all the people that cheated and stole money in the politics, get in there and become millionaires. But
Yeah, but see, we
it's a
always
corrupt
say
system.
and it is, and we're always talking about, do things the right way, and we teach our children to do things the right way, be honest, don't steal, and blah blah blah. But then these people get in situations like that, positions of authority, Badger, and when they get into a position of authority, they do the very thing that we tell our children not to do. Before you comment, Badger, let me go to Shamika. Shamika, good morning. I see you over there. Good morning to Benito. Good morning to DJ Alex. Good morning to King Kaiser. And Shamika, I wanted to say good morning to you specifically because somebody told me I needed to be I had needed to get a host to be a host. I need to have an audition or something like that, and maybe you might, or anybody that's on the platform this morning, if you know about that, please let me know, because they say I have to have an audition to become an official host on Bigo. So if you have any information, if anybody have any information, send me a email at heavensaidyes@gmail.com, because I don't know how that whole process is. I get on here every day and I broadcast, and people listen, people, and blah blah blah. But all this other stuff about becoming a host and having another, I don't know nothing about that. So if anybody know, please let me know. Badger, what do you say to that, brother? Should these people be locked up? Because we tell our children every day, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, do the right thing, treat others as you want to be treated. But they get in a position of authority, and Badger, they don't do that.
Man, you're talking about the PPP loans and stuff?
Yeah. Tom
Oh,
Brady.
and what Favre did?
Yeah, Tom Brady went out there, a multimillionaire's wife is a multimillionaire, and he went out there and got a $1 million PPP loan. Why do you need it? Why do you need it?
No, it's
Brett
worse
Favre
than that.
killing. Go ahead.
From what, because I didn't know what a PPP loan was, so I
Mm-hmm.
had to look it up. And from what I'm reading, I'm very surprised at who all got it. And Brett
Mm-hmm.
Favre should go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So, essentially, um, Tom Brady, Reese Witherspoon, Jared Kushner, Kanye West, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, her husband, Cleo Kardashian,
Yeah,
um,
Kardashian.
and a few other people had their PP, celebrity or not, pretty much everyone has had their loans forgiven. Of the 793 billion approved for 11.5 million loans,
Mm-hmm.
742 billion was forgiven
Mm.
by ProPublica data.
Wow.
So essentially, um, the PPP loan stuff ended. They stopped it May of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot of talk that he got a yacht. Tom Brady did, and stuff like that. So essentially, he got the loan through his company TB12.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that were meant to help small businesses,
Yes. Yes.
and people like that got approved for it. So this is going to be one of those uh, people's perceptions, right? Once again, he's starting a small business. What makes him qualify and not qualify?
I thought,
It,
and I could be wrong with this, but I thought what the PPP is supposed to help people that need assistance in starting their business and paying the people and stuff like that. If somebody is a multi-million, if I got $100 million over there in the bank, I don't know if I need to go and get a government loan. I mean, but people say all the time though, don't spend your money, spend other people's money. So I guess this is what they was doing now.
I mean, it's America, ain't it?
Mm, mm,
So you know I'm going to get wacky on this stuff.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That to me, this is just another one of those samples of what I talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things of how much do you know How much are you willing to do to other people? Like, to me, all these rich folks or folks that have a lot of, well, see, that's a double-edged sword too,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of rumors going out and about that in reality, sports people don't really have a lot of money.
Who?
Sports people.
Mm.
There's a lot of discussion and talk on that too. Is, you know, even though their pay is a certain amount, they only get to see a certain amount.
Yeah, but when
But
situations like that, when people look into it, when people look into the whole situation and they say that this person and they look into their finances, say this person has this amount or that this person has that amount, you know, they can't dispute that. If
I agree.
yeah, so you know,
So
you can't we can't dance that dance because it's been proven that their money is there. It's been proven that
so
money is there. Hold on, let me say good morning to Misha. Good morning to Hummer. Good morning to Richard Johnson. Good morning to Robert. Good morning to what's that? It's Shenagon. I'm butchering your name. I definitely apologize. Go ahead, Badger. We got Curtis online. I got to touch on him as well. Go ahead, Badger.
well, if it's been proven, then it's just one of those things of, all right, if there are going to be loans out there
Mm-hmm.
to help people like that, to
Mm-hmm.
help people, you know, start their own small businesses and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then do we, since this is a very much take advantage of people country, do we make our government set standards?
They should already be set. I mean, something like that, you know, that's and I understand what you're saying, and you're making a very valid point. I'm not disputing your point, but it should already be set because that's something that you know. Let me see what Curtis say about this. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, family? How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, Curtis, and I'm so proud of you, brother. Your volume is perfect, and you got the energy that I'm used to, brother. So I'm proud of you this morning, brother. I'm high and happy, elephant lady, and porcupine proud. Yes, sir. Curtis, we talking about the situation that happened with let me start off. Let me see, please. What platform asked you to do okay, it was our Bigo. It was a platform called Bigo, Badger. We talking about a video that I played this morning. I wasn't able to play the whole thing. I put it on my Facebook page, but it actually cut off, you know, it cut it down to a certain point. But they were talking about three football players: Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Michael Vick. They say that Tom Brady, being a multimillionaire, married to Gazette, she's a multimillionaire, but he went out there and got a PPP, $1 million PPP loan that was, like Badger said, was actually forgiven, and so he had that money to quote unquote start a business. Brett Favre, you know the story with him. He down in Mississippi, they say one of the poorest I keep wanting to say countries, one of
It
the
is the
poorest states.
poorest. It's the poorest state in the United States.
Yeah, and he went out there, man, and how he robbed the system to get all that money out of that from the poor people. They said he should be locked up. They say he should be locked up. This is one of my Caucasian brothers that did the video. But then he spoke about Michael Vick. He said Michael Vick, you know, was on top of the game, man, a great quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, and started a dogfighting ring. Spent 17 months in prison. All of his endorsements taken away from him. Everything was stripped away from Michael Vick. He had to start over from scratch, and it was very difficult for him to do that because so many people was protesting. Peter and everybody was protesting him. He's saying that there's a double standard, and this whole system should be looked at differently. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
What's on my heart is
Talk to me. This is Friday, brother.
that PPP money, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all years ago,
Mm-hmm.
in November 2016, if y'all remember, one of the first things I said after about 2 weeks, I said, y'all, this is going to go down in history as the largest heist in world history.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So let's deal with the PPE money.
PPP, man. Say it right. No, PPE.
PPP, because you know it's two different types. It's PPP and then there's PPE.
Oh, okay. I ain't know nothing about that. You know.
Yeah, there's funds out there that directly was supposed to go to minority-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They did that because when the first funds came out, the PPP, companies like, for example, people like Tom Brady, people like the company, y'all remember, what was it, Ruth Chris, the steakhouse, took a bunch of money. That hotel mogul that was friends with our former president, he took $91 billion. He didn't pay nobody, still laid those folks off. Said it publicly. Guess what? I'm gonna put this $91 billion in a bank. The rule says that I can have it for 2 years. If I don't use it for what I got it for, I gotta pay back the $91 billion. So he took it, put it in a bank account, and it's sitting there. He probably paid it back probably this year, the $91 billion. But with $91 billion, how much money did he make in interest? But anyway, so all of those people, Brett Favre should be locked up. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. It ain't no kind of only way he cannot go to jail is unless he flipped on everybody. If I was the prosecutor, no. You don't give me the underlings like you, because he was just an underling. You don't give me the underlings like you. No. I want the governor. I want the attorney, the attorney general. I want everybody that's big that was able to approve this thing. I want all of them. All of them going to jail. You understand? All of them. No. We gonna let you go though. You can go on home, boy. But the thing with Brett Favre, that's just foolish.
Yeah.
Mike Vick. Let me just say something to y'all.
Uh-oh.
Because although I'm from Baltimore, I'm from Ridgeway, South Carolina, too. 29130. They been knew Mike was fighting dogs. Mike Vick used to be in Ridgeway. It's a couple dudes in Ridgeway. I know them personally that's got Mike for 50,000, 125,000, 200,000. They been knew that boy was fighting dogs.
So it's not nothing that's new.
That ain't nothing that's new. They been knew he was fighting dogs, right here. Mike Vick was fighting dogs all up and down the coast. He was like the boxer, Roy Jones.
Yeah, them chickens.
Roy Jones fight chickens.
Yeah.
Roy Jones got chickens, man. He got birds that sell for $1 million to $2 million because he's a breeder. So he breed. I hate to say the word on this radio station. He breed cocks. Birds.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right. And people from everywhere, from Russia, Armenians, South Americans, people from all around the country comes to Pensacola to buy birds from Roy Jones to then take them home because, in other countries, cockfighting is legal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They been knew Mike Vick was fighting dogs. It was just, okay, hold on. We got to get, this is my opinion. We got to get out of this contract. We can't afford. We don't want to pay. We don't want to make him the richest quarterback. We all know this deal. Well, what can we get him on? Oh, he over there, he's fighting them dogs. And he got family members that's running it. They stupid. They about dumb as a box of rocks. So, hey, let's just pull. They're going to come through town. The car going to be smoked out. Just pull them over. When you
Exactly.
pull them over, they probably ain't gonna have no license. They gonna say who they is. We gonna follow them home. Then we gonna hit the door.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Man, man, go ahead, Raheem. You know what's going on, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Talk to me, brother. We talking about the 3 players. Now you there in Mississippi, am I correct?
Yeah.
What's on
Yeah.
your heart? What's on your heart, and what are the people in Mississippi saying about Brett Favre, man? When he took all that money from the welfare people, what's the atmosphere like toward him there?
They building up trust funds, support funds
For Brett?
That's Brett Favre.
Wow.
So what they're gonna do? It's just me now. What they're gonna do is contribute to the cause, pay for the lawyers and everything. He can pay for it himself.
Yeah.
He can. But we in the great state, the heart of the South, Mississippi.
Wow.
Where they great Southerners that take care of our own.
Wow. That's crazy.
You don't believe it?
I know, no, that's something I can't believe. I definitely can believe that. Good morning, your secret. I definitely could believe that because it's happened before, brother.
It's gonna happen again. It's finna come. Sure will. Yeah. So them judges and all them the kind of people that taking a look at the Southern boy, they're gonna contribute to some kind of way. I'm just saying. I don't even have to be right, man. But I grew up in Louisiana, and I remember when David Duke ran for governor.
Yeah, sure did.
You don't know who you're dealing with. So I know you can get excited about the whole idea because what happened before gonna happen again.
Wow. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Yeah. I was thinking about the corruption system, and I was thinking about going through the system from juvenile to intermediate to state's prison, right? And then going through the trials and appeals and the process. You see how corrupt it is. I think that when you look around the world, you try to tell young people how doing right and taking that mantle, then they look all around them in politics and their local and anywhere where they see the people that's getting ahead of people that's not playing by the rules. You know, that's the dilemma. You know, yeah. Mississippi, I know I've been through Mississippi. I was born in Alabama and went through that period during the 50s and 60s of going north and coming south and seeing the contrast. And then at the same time, seeing similarities. A lot of folks had the kind of opinion that the North was free of the things they had in the South, but no, it was camouflaged better, but it was still happening. In fact, when I came back south in '95, it astonished me where I saw all the interracial couples. I saw a kind of on the surface kind of of getting over that never happened in the North. I mean, it happened slightly, but I guess the suffering in the South by slaves and by the white folks that fought that thing and the bitterness, and Reconstruction was a brand new constitution where we had full rights as citizens, and then the work to get the corrupt system of the party. It was a Democratic Party, but it's not just saying that the party was it was the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But they undermined everything, pulled the troops out of the federal troops out of the, and everything went, and corruption is still spanning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. And Big O, again, we're looking for somebody to see I need to be a host on here, and I'm trying to figure out, what's the whole process like. I got some people working on some things behind the scenes, but if you have some information on it as well, let me know. They say I have to have an audition or something like that. So if y'all know something about that, send me an email at heavensaidyes@gmail.com. heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Send me the information so I can know what's the process I need to do to become a host here on Big O. Like the platform, and so just wanted to take it to the next step, next level if we could. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, it's just the ins and outs, and just another example of the difference between the I think I want to use the word diplomacy
Mm-hmm. Okay.
or versus capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the perception of the different words that people throw at our government and the things that are going on, it's honestly disturbing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That there is so much going on with situations like this. And the part that frustrates me the most is something that was brought up, and I apologize if it ends up derailing the conversation. Well, it's what's primarily on my head as I'm thinking about all this stuff and it being all over the media and news. I wonder if they actually showed what the projects and the trailer parks and all that stuff was actually like, instead of showing all this. If they showed that just as equally as they would do the Brady topic,
Mm-hmm.
and all the rich people that are pretty much getting free handouts again. Notice I said again.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the
Mm-hmm.
first time. Probably won't be the last. Um, if we how if they did that, how much would it eventually lead to people coming together
Mm.
when they start seeing similarities?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was watching some videos last night of on YouTube, of course, of some natives that are Navajo or Dene.
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on who you're talking to, it's one or the other. And they made an amazing comment. They were making videos about their restaurants, fry bread, and all that kind of stuff, or our fry bread. And the fact of being proud just because they at least have a vehicle.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, looking back at, growing up poor, having that same mentality, just being proud we have something because it was better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking about this topic, and I'm sitting here going, huh, if any of that would have helped any of the local businesses growing up, that could have done a tremendous amount in all kinds of communities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then yet once again, let's stay safe. let's focus on that and just continue to be separated.
Wow, wow. Curtis,
Yeah,
Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? It's a lot. Kurt, talk to me.
You know, Raheem, talking about what we was talking about, right? I just want to say something. It's one, we need to pray for the Tua family. That's number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what happened to that boy is a classic case of business first. You know, I'm an avid football watcher, although I got a total of 5 shows going on at the same time. I come in sometimes and I'll take a day and I'll go back and I'll go to ESPN or something like that, or whatever I recorded. I'll go back and watch it. Raheem, that boy got hurt in the Ravens game.
Yeah.
He went to concussion protocol tent during the Ravens game.
Man, the dude, when he stood up, he couldn't even collect his balance, man. He falling all over the place, man.
You understand?
Yeah, I saw that.
Played him anyway the very next week.
Yep.
Against the Bills. Then he supposedly suffered a real concussion. Now, why would you play him again this week? He wasn't together. But anyway, that was a business decision. But let me tell you what really gets me. We just had Hurricane Ian come through here, right? And Hurricane Ian ripped up a whole bunch of stuff. He's still moving, right? God forgive me if I'm wrong in my spirit, but something in my spirit just tell me I need to say this. I wonder how many of those people was all for Stop the Steal, January 6th. I wonder how many of them was for that. I wonder how many of them was for that. Because that own state's governor spoke nationally. It was all for the Stop the Steal. He spoke nationally against the sitting president right now. Now, you see how God works? Now, you got to humble yourself. Because you need this help. You need this help. I got a couple of my friends, you know, some of which went to college with me, went and played pro ball, and you know, they in that world or in that lifestyle or whatever. And a couple of them, we sat down and had conversations. A couple of them folks living down there in Florida, you think they got all this money, and realistically, they robbing Peter to pay Paul, and robbing Paul to pay them all, and then robbing the rest. It ain't all legal money, and some of the older folks, most of the older folks, or most of the much mature, they got legal incomes. Those are retired folk and things of that nature. But a lot of these folk that's down there that's calling themselves movers and shakers, man, they just as corrupt and criminal. We call it corrupt. I call it being criminal minded. They are just as criminal minded to get that dollar as anybody else.
Yeah.
But it dawned on me, Raheem, when that hurricane hit yesterday, I said, now, it would be crazy if Joe did them the way that Trump did everybody else.
Yep. Let me go to Rico. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just grateful to see another beautiful new day.
Yes, sir. You been listening to us?
Yeah, I've been listening in and out.
Okay. What do you think about this whole situation, man? Brett Favre, the GOAT, Tom Brady, and Michael Vick. 3 different individuals. One went out there and got he's a multimillionaire, Tom Brady. Wife's multimillionaire, Gissette. But he went out there and got a PPP loan for $1 million, then had it forgiven. Brett Favre, he robbing what they say is the poorest state in the union in the whole United States, millions of dollars. Michael Vick. Then neither one of them went to jail. I was playing a clip that one of my Caucasian brothers was sent to me and showing it to me. But with Michael Vick, he fighting dogs, and he did 17 months or more in prison. All of his endorsements and everything taken away. Man, they had to start over from scratch. And then he had Peter protesting him because of the dog fighting. Is there a double standard tied into this whole thing, Rico? What do you say?
Yeah, it's a double standard, but then also too, you got to find. You got an echo, I believe.
Go ahead.
No doubt, it's bad.
Okay, let me fix it. Okay, hold on for a minute. It might be somebody's line. Let me get to their line. Go ahead, keep talking, brother. I get it.
Yeah, man, it's a double standard, but at the same time, you know, it's showing you at just the different levels that this have and have not game works. You know, it's really showing you that some people know and learn the economic and the legal system not to uphold justice or not to make sure that finances are done fairly, but to make sure that they know how to manipulate it so they can get the best out of it or the most out of it that they can, taking advantage of the opportunity to do things that they really don't need to do. But if you can do it, why not? You know, if you can find out how to become a billionaire and avoid paying your taxes legally, or using loopholes or manipulating the system, taking advantage of benefits that are meant for poor people legally, then, you know, they find a way to do it. And to be honest with you, that's the way most of these laws are made, where you can find out how to use the loopholes. The rich people that are educated and have attorneys can use these loopholes to benefit themselves. Now, you talk about what Tom Brady did, somewhat legal. He found out how to manipulate that system. You know, we talk about PPP and PPE loans, but this ain't the first time. You know, you had the bailout when the housing market crashed. You know, all these rich people that knew it was going to crash because they was trying to make people buy houses that couldn't afford them.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, they were just trying to give away houses. They knew what was going to happen. So it's like they intentionally crashed the system, like the Rothschilds did a long time ago. But then they got recompensated for it, like the slave owners did a long time ago. Think about that. The rich get richer. And just because you lost a little money, even though you got a lot of money, control, and power, we're going to recompensate you for your losses. But with the people at the bottom got to still fight and do the best they can. So now what Brady did was legal, but what Brett Favre did, he stole from the poor.
Yes.
He did the opposite of Robin Hood. And on top of trying to get the volleyball facility built, he was trying to get an indoor football practice facility built too. He wanted to get a little bit more because he felt comfortable. He felt privileged. He was entitled.
He felt he could do it.
It shows you just how affluenza works.
Yeah.
Because what he did is illegal, just like what Michael Vick did was illegal. Just like what Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew and the owner of Victoria's Secret did was illegal. You know, but it shows you up and down the ladder that there's a double standard, not only from affluence, but for white privilege. Now, affluence, you can be black and affluent, but you got to understand the level of black affluence is maybe 70 times less than what white affluence is. So now you can be an R. Kelly, you can be an employee, you can be a Michael Vick. Like Kurt said, they knew what he was doing. But Mike got too big for his britches. Mike was walking through airports talking about how he couldn't be stopped and was getting caught coming through airports with weed in the bottom of the container. Oh, he just went ahead and he showed the people, you know what? Yeah, y'all paying me good. I'm all on TV. My name Mike Vick. Everybody love me, and y'all can't stop me because I done seen what money will do.
Wow.
R. Kelly said the same thing.
Look where he at.
Yep, you know what? I done seen what money can do. And it's always good. If you ever got you a real good white friend, you got you a good friend. Why? Because they know how to rip the judicial system off. Do you know what they caught me with on tape? I peed on a little girl and screwed her. And I lied and accused my brother, and I said that wasn't a woman, and I paid them people not to show up. And then we even bribed some people. And I avoided prison when people seen with their own eyes that was the same girl and I peed on her. Because I made the industry a lot of money. So he had that affluence and he had that privilege and that double standard too. Until he started complaining about some money.
30 seconds we go.
Now all of a sudden they came back and they threw him in jail for something that he did over 20 years ago. Pretty much. But see, he got worse because he felt invincible. He didn't understand that his black affluence wasn't the same as white affluence. He didn't understand that when they say when you got money, you can make money do anything for you. Well, that's only for certain people. Even when you think you got the money. So, you know, it shows you a double standard in the system. But see, Dr. Jane Elliott, she's been proved this a long time ago. You know, it's good though that this guy, what you call your Caucasian brother, it's good that he made this point and used sports as an example of the double standard in the way people can manipulate the system, and the system can leave these loopholes open for the system, for them to manipulate it, just like family courts left the system wide open for people to manipulate it, and they can achieve their agenda of tearing up families. You know, and also at the same time making it profitable for the states to be cool with tearing up these families and creating mothers that had power. What would you call it? Went power crazy. So you know, it really is an indication, and it shows all these different ways that the system is corrupted, and how people behind the scenes intentionally leave it wide open for you to even avoid going to jail for crimes that you committed that other people would go to jail for, but you don't.
Okay, hold right there we go.
Hold
right there we go. I gotta keep this thing. Gotta keep this thing circulating. Let me go to who we got here. Let's go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, you there?
Again, you know, this conversation's kind of ticking me off, but I don't get riled up because it keep happening.
Yeah.
The same way.
And
then here's the killer part. And it's not funny, but I laugh. We tried the same thing and we get caught up.
Yep.
They don't call it embezzlement. They call it stealing. Theft. They don't call it I don't know what they match it up to. What they gonna call the crime that Brett Forbes did, and rather than Mr. Fix, that ain't gonna happen the same way. It's just not gonna. I'm sorry. I think Edwin Edwards went to jail. He was the governor of Louisiana. He played golf every day.
Good Lord. 4 or 5 hours a day.
I'm just trying to tell you. With a caddy.
Yeah.
Who in prison have a caddy? And I don't know. I don't have no evidence of what I'm saying. Because I don't. But y'all know I'm right. I don't have to do no research to find out how things happen. I don't have to do all that. I don't have to do all that, man. I don't even have to be bright.
Yeah.
All I have to do is live in the South. I live here.
Yeah.
I've been here. And I ain't going nowhere. They can't run me off. I sit in this office and I lock my door every day. Not because I'm scared. Because they're disrespectful.
Exactly.
They turn the knob and decide they just want to come in. But guess what? The door locked, sir. That don't work here.
Got to knock on that door. 508.
Yeah, you got to knock.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
No.
You didn't give me my 30 seconds, man. I don't want to say nothing no more.
Okay, watch this. You got 30 seconds.
That's okay.
508 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. Big O, I need I need an audition. I need an audition. Y'all, if y'all know how to do that, if y'all anybody have any knowledge as to how to do that, make sure you get the information to me. Send me an email at heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Heavensaidyes@gmail.com. I need an audition. Can y'all help me? Help me get an audition. Okay, we're gonna keep this thing going. Let me go to who haven't I spoken to in a while? Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir? Mr. Hicks, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm exhausted with this issue. I guess. You know,
How do we get
I was
to a point, Mr. Hicks, where and this may not even be a reality, but how can we get to a point where there's some semblance, not absolute, but some semblance of equality?
I think the basic answer to that kind of question is form small communities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just small communities where you set up your own parameters and your own your own rules and the guarded, which goes back, which really just get a community based off the Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Amish and different kind of things. I think that we're living, and we have to prepare. We're living in the fall of a civilization. We're in that process. Our children, our grandchildren will experience a lot more intensity than us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that even when it falls, just like in the history showed us, there have been small pockets of people got together and formed their own communities that survived it all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the quality and those kind of things started small groups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teaching in your homes and prayer in your homes and finding out the needs of the people right there in that small community and gathering together to help them through whatever crisis it is. But as far as the world, this thing's falling. Ain't no stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Muhammad said it back then. He laid it out clear. Fall of America.
Yeah.
It's falling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Badger, talk to me, brother.
Man, I think a lot of us are just, this conversation's gotten so old. It's
And I think you're right. The conversation is old, but the situation has not changed.
well, no, of course it's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's, man, I can throw some stuff out there, but I don't know if you want me to.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. This is Friday, brother. Throw it out there.
I asked you a question a couple days ago
Mm-hmm.
about acknowledgement
Mm-hmm.
and working to fight hard, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as people are staying at each other's throats, or you can't help and you can't help and you can't do this and you can't do that, based on whatever the people want to use, it's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, are we human beings or are we titles? Like,
Might be a combination of both.
well, normally if you let the title own you, then are you really in control?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How do you say power corrupts, brother?
and that's why I'm so. It's been brought up a few times. Some of the things I say and the fact that I say humans. Because there's a lot of people I know, and I mean a lot, that we're all, anyone below middle class is not treated well.
Mm-hmm.
Just period. And depending on where you live, and depending on the people in power in those areas, then color starts becoming an issue, disability starts becoming an issue, or nationality, or one of the other labels. there's always a tactic used to cause frustration, anger, resentment, hatred, and as long as those things continue to divide us, we get to keep talking about these topics that a lot of us, especially those of us that's gotten older, are just tired of.
Well, and that's true. I'm sure that a lot of people are tired of it. They may be tired of having a discussion. They may be tired of even having a conversation at all. But at the same time, at the end of the day, just as I said, man, if we don't have the dialogue, if we don't talk about it, somebody have to do something to make a
All
difference.
right, can I throw a question out there then?
Quickly.
Okay, if talking about the race stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there is acknowledgement given, there is support and backing given to deal with the system.
Mm-hmm.
What more?
Ask that question one more time.
If there is acknowledgement,
Mm-hmm.
if there is, yes, we agree. If there is, I'm talking about white folks agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
White folks trying to fight with, and so on and so on. What more? If we're all fighting the same system.
Are we all fighting? Are we all fighting the same system? Because I think it's a different system because the system is not equal. The system is not on a plateau. Whereas one person, again, with the scenario that I showed earlier, Michael Vick, he did 17 months or more in prison for dog fighting. Brett Favre stole money from one of the poorest states in the union. Tom Brady was supposed to be the GOAT, went out there and he got a PPP loan for over $1 million and got it forgiven. Why aren't they not punished or penalized on the same plane that Michael Vick was? You know,
And how come the
how
system won't listen to us white folks that want to see them get punished?
maybe you're not speaking loud enough.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Maybe you're not speaking loud enough. They old folks say all the time the wagon that makes the most noise get the most oil. It's gonna get oil because
You
they're
know,
making all the noise. And so
the,
maybe that's a part of the problem.
to me, I see a bigger issue.
It could be. Say
If
what it is.
that's how everything gets viewed,
Mm-hmm.
and see that kind of separation that the system is doing on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like me and you. It sounds like we're already starting to fight over it, don't it?
No, I don't think so. I think we're having a dialogue, and I think that's a part of reaching the solution, having a dialogue, and we're talking about it. Whether we're going to agree or disagree, that's a whole different conversation. But we are having a dialogue. We are discussing what it is and what the issues are. That's a part of the problem right there. And when I say that maybe you're not speaking loud enough, you know, maybe there has to be some other. Maybe what you're doing is not working. We know that there's a cancer out there. We know cancer has killed a lot of people, and there's some people that's fighting for a cure of cancer. There's some people that's not. There's other people that's just dying. But at the end of the day, some people are just dead. They're dead. So everything that's happening is not effective enough because people are still dying all these years over cancer, HIV and AIDS. People are still dying. You know, there's people that want to make this stuff go away. There's people that has lost loved ones. They don't want them to die. But what are we doing? But what are we doing? Rico, talk to me, brother.
Well, you know, sometimes, man, we really have to find out what issue we have and find out if what we were bringing up is really relates. Like, you know, we could talk about double standards, but then there's different types of double standards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tom Brady's situation probably shouldn't be in the same sentence as Brett Favre's and Michael Vick's because Tom just worked the system in a way that what he did isn't illegal. Once again, they use a loophole. You remember, I keep telling y'all to watch the 1%.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned to y'all about these Fanjul brothers. They about like the Koch brothers. One donates to the Republican Party. One donates to the Democrat Party. They are the kings of sugar. The government will buy their sugar at 22 cents a pound when the going rate around the world is 7 cents a pound.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they do that is because the Fanjul brothers overproduce it. Number one, we got a huge. They're responsible for a huge part of the influx of Haitian immigrants in Florida. Left them hanging. They didn't want to pay them right. And when they started complaining and figuring they was in the United States, even as immigrants, they deserve better. They said, well, you know what? Before we pay y'all better and give y'all better health care, we'll bring machines in. Now y'all just fend for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Miami looked the way it is. But they still richer. Now, on top of it, they overproduce sugar because the government said that we'll give you 22 cents a pound. That is more than the going rate for all the sugar you don't sell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you could go on the shelves at a grocery store and see probably a lot of sugar that ain't being sold.
Mm-hmm.
So they getting rich, government subsidies. They're like the money that Tom Brady got. But see, this is what a double standard really is. Because it's hard to associate what Brett Favre and Mike Vick did with what Tom Brady did because Tom Brady used the loophole. But the thing to me is the mindset. You even have people that come on here that love capitalism and then they don't want to give nobody no freebies or they don't like to really help people to give nobody nothing. You know, we don't believe in socialism. Strap up your bootstraps and get it going. Just shut up and do better. All this great opportunity, this land opportunity called America, we don't like to give out no handouts. But then as soon as the housing market crashed, the richest people in the world say, come in, we need some money. You need to bail us out. Oh, we don't like giving away free money. We don't believe in socialism. Oh, you say they got $5 million for them poor people in Mississippi? Well, you know, my daughter plays volleyball and, you know, how about we find a way to start a charity and start a nonprofit and rent these spots and then we get money for the government to pay these spots. But really and truly, we just finagle it and make it to where we can get this volleyball gym and this indoor practice facility. But we don't want to give nobody no free money, especially people that need it, y'all lazy.
Mm-hmm.
All you broke Negroes want food stamps and welfare and child support and all these benefits and assistance. Go to Russia. You want socialism? You want go on, leave. We believe in hardworking people. We don't like criminals. But at the same time, when it comes time to give out some money from the government, let me see if I can find a way to extort the government and we could broker a deal and I give them a little bit more money as long as they make sure I get a little bit more money. And some people become rich and get up. You know, Elon Musk hit the Forbes list mainly from government money. Most of the billionaires you see get paid through government. And they earn it. Don't get me wrong, the industry, they provide a service that make them earn it, but some of the money that they give for the services is overfunded, it's mismanaged and overfunded.
Mm-hmm.
If I ain't mistaken, Halliburton every year was getting so much money to buy all these new vehicles and take them to Iraq, and sometimes you would go to Iraq and you would see these vehicles didn't have no miles on them, they didn't have no use. It looked like new car lots over there. But to make sure they could keep on getting that government funding, they set the new vehicles on fire.
Wow.
Burn them up.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Found a way to manipulate the system. So, I mean, you know, that's the double standard that I see in this is the fact that you have rich people and people in power that claim they don't want to help nobody, even though they know that the capitalism and corrupt corporations and rich people created the conditions that make poverty the way it is. They don't want to fund the schools. They don't want to give no money to benefit the poor people. They want to steal from the poor people. But the minute the rich people lose a small dollar, they recompensate them for their slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Or they recompensate them for the houses that they built that didn't get sold when they knew they was building too many, just like the Fanjul brothers know that they produce too much sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Because the government going to pay them at the end for the sugar that they sell. Guaranteed.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Good morning, Captain. How you doing this morning?
Brother, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. How's everybody?
Hey, doing good. Doing good. We're talking this morning. We're going to transition over to our topic of the day in just a second or two. But right now, we're talking about the situation. We talked 3 football players, 3 NFL football players, one being Brett Favre, one being Michael Vick and one being Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady, what he did, he the PPP, when they had the PPP loans, he went out there and got a PPP for the business reasons, $1 million, and had it forgiven because he said he wanted to start a business. Multi-millionaire, plenty of money. Brett Favre, he stole from the poorest, I keep wanting to say country, from the poorest state in the union welfare money because he wanted to build a facility, practice facility, and all kind of stuff. He took that money, and now they're looking at him in a way. Neither one of these guys was incarcerated for anything that they did. Michael Vick had a dogfighting organization, and they sent him to jail for over 17 months. Robbed him of all of his money, all of his endorsements, everything, his contracts, and everything was taken away from him. I'm asking a question, Captain. I want to hear your heart on this. Is there a double standard?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to say this to be funny, but I think Rico did a very good job. Man, Rico, you need to really be on CNN as when they're having this, because you give a great understanding and balanced view about the double standard. There's no question there is a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
We've always known that all of our lives. We waste a whole lot of time asking the question is. I don't believe nobody on there would say there's not. The question is, why is there a double standard? And the second question is do we have a double standard? You know, if we have a double standard, then they should point out to us where there's a double standard when it comes to us. But it seems we seem to be the brunt of the double standard of America. And as long as there's a double standard, it clearly says to us, there's no justice. That's all. A double standard means there's no justice.
Mm-hmm.
America has not been just in how they deal with blacks and brown people. She has not been just.
Mm-hmm.
If she would have been just, it would not be a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say the word double standard, the question should be asked, peel back the onion, do black people get justice? Because that's what it means to have a double standard. No, we don't get justice. And for them to do what they did to Mike Vick and to the other two gentlemen who, I don't know too much about this situation, but I do know that his time should not fit the crime about Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always seems that when it comes to there's a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
The time that we are given for the crimes that we commit does not fit the crime.
Yeah.
We can say that with R. Kelly, he should do some time for what he's done. There's no question about that. And the crime that Bill Cosby may have done, we found out that he did not. He was innocent, or at least they vindicated him. And we could keep going on and on and on about some of those crimes. And look at my man OJ.
Mm-hmm.
Did him going back to try to get his daggone Heisman Trophy, you know, fit the crime? I mean, fit the time that he was given? Everybody knows, no. It was unjust.
Mm-hmm.
To people who got arrested for the little crack cocaine, got 15 years to life. Was that just? No. It's a double standard. So, you know, I agree. I think that my brother Rico did a great job. I can't even come behind him. You know, he laid it out, man. He was very just and balanced. He showed both sides, and I think he showed more justice to giving them justice and why they in the situation is than they give us.
Yeah.
So I stand behind my brother Rico and what he said.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Again, I'm going to say to Biggle, I need an audition. Y'all need to work out where I get an audition on this thing, man. I don't know how to do it, so y'all send me an email at heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Heavensaidyes@gmail.com. Send me the information on how to get that audition. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're asking the question. You been listening this morning?
No.
Okay. We're asking a question about Michael Vick, Brett Favre, and Tom Brady. Tom Brady went out there. He wanted to start a business. He got the PPP loan and had for $1 million, over $1 million, and had it forgiven. He had that. Nothing happened. Brett Favre been stealing from the poorest state in the United States of America from the welfare money, and he wanted to build a facility where he can a practice facility and different things of that nature. He wanted to get that money and use it for something totally different. Nothing happened. You know, they gave him a pass on that. Michael Vick fought dogs over 17 months in prison. All of his contracts, all of his endorsements, everything was wiped away from him. He had to start over from the beginning. Asking the question, is there a double standard involved in these things here? Should they all have been locked up?
If they broke the law, of course they all should be locked up. If anybody that breaks the law, as it is written, they should pay the consequences. Do we know that there's a double standard? There's always been a double standard. So there's no way that I would be shocked when we find out that there's not. I've spent my life fighting for justice for people.
Wow.
You know, so I definitely, I mean, it's sad to say that we have this kind of continuous. I mean, right to this day, you can start naming off people where we know that what happened to them, if they were white, it would not have been the same. We have that. So
wow,
there is no shock value here for me because, and I hope for no one on this line, because we realize what has been happening continues to happen.
Wow. Good deal. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this topic before we move on to our next topic?
I do.
Go ahead.
So
I do.
Okay.
I dug more into it, and I wanted to see about the fraud side of it. It's about equal on all fronts. There's a bunch of people that have had to go to court and are currently sitting in jail for the PPP loan frauds. However, the only thing that gets blasted on social media and everything else is the comparison of three human beings. An a-hole, Brett Favre, the person I honestly believe didn't earn all 7 of his and is not the go to football. Because most of his games was won by paying referees. And then another person got caught dogfighting. So we're going to take people with a bunch of money, using them as an example. You know, all the things Kion West did. Am I mispronouncing his name wrong?
Yes, Kanye.
Kanye. Okay.
I heard your wife in the background correcting you too.
She's already all the way in the bedroom too. You know, his loan was forgiven. Kardashians was forgiven. And then on the other hand, Tyler Perry, you know, got caught doing fraud, and other people got caught doing fraud. And don't see a lot of that. You see it in newspapers, but I haven't really seen it on social medias, aside from like maybe YouTube or something. So once again, I find it interesting that here's the rich folks that most, just about across the board, everyone I could talk to would literally say the same thing. That's not surprising to us. We need to fix this. Because on the flip side, all the stuff that isn't broadcasted is kind of insane.
30
on
seconds.
how when it comes to politicians, business owners, sports people, celebrities, you know, like the high profile people,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more of that separation going on. You get into the lower classes, and yeah, there might be some here and there, but for the most part, you do something illegal, you're going to jail, no matter who you are. Man, I'm so torn on this because I'm tired of hearing and seeing people fighting amongst one another for different perspectives and not working together for a greater goal. Oh, you there? All right, looks like they froze up everybody. So, and there's a lot of acknowledgement. There's a lot of just the situation's messed up. I'm just as tired of it as other people. If I had it my way, I'd probably be in prison for some of the things I'd want to do. And plus, it's illegal and not the righteous thing to do. Um, so it's. I know a lot of what I say is harder said than done. But growing up, seeing the separation, fighting constantly, it's all I ever run into is people fighting among one another. The situation's messed up. And the more I looked into the Tom Brady stuff, he got a loan, a federal loan. He probably would have paid it back eventually.
Have to do the echo again.
Federal government, what's that called? Forgave it.
Forgiveness.
Trump and Biden both played a hand in forgiving those loans to the people that they forgave them to.
Okay, we are back. We are back. Had some computer issues there for a second, but we are back up and running right now. Badge, I appreciate you, brother. You kept it going until I came back. I definitely appreciate that. Toussaint is over there acting up, so I got to figure out what he was talking about when we got kicked out. What's going on, Toussaint? What's on your heart, brother?
You know anything about bootlegging?
Bootlegging.
I do.
My bootlegging liquor? You talking about liquor?
No.
Oh, I thought you talking about bootleg. They talking about that's liquor, ain't
it? yeah, but I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, right?
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Let it go. Well, but we do. I just wanted to check to see if it would happen, but we got an echo somewhere in the system.
Okay, let me see. Can I fix that real quick? Okay. Did that take care of it? You probably got to catch back up.
No, let me see.
Probably got to catch back up with us.
No, it's still there.
Okay, let me work through it. Hold on one second here. All right, we'll get it. But I think Curtis said he has something on his heart as well. Curtis, what you wanted to talk about, brother?
Let me. You know what? We got some women on this line. So let me be, maybe not the first one, but let me reiterate again. Ladies, I'm sorry. I speak on behalf of every upright man that walks the face of this earth. Lady, I'm sorry. Because when you talk about a double standard, I can give you a series of names that tie right into what you're talking about, Raheem. They are doing the same thing, that double standard, bull crap with Marilyn Mosby. We're going through it right now, the Attorney General here in Baltimore City. She took PPP money, PPE money, whichever one it was.
Mm-hmm.
She took some money because she was still running her business. Outside of being an attorney general, she has a business.
Mm-hmm.
So she took some PPE money, and she took some money from her own retirement.
Mm.
They got the feds in here for her, man.
Wow.
They trying to send this lady to jail, man. Okay, let's go back. Here's a little bit of history. Y'all know Martha Stewart, right?
Yes.
You know Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading, right?
Mm-hmm. She did.
Okay. Martha Stewart really went to jail, and I learned this in college. You know, I thank God for the Whitman School of Business because they be on point.
Okay.
Your assignments are not read the book and blah, blah, blah. No, your assignment is to develop a business.
Mm-hmm.
From the time you get there to the time you leave. Check this out, man. Martha Stewart had the largest shared interest in the company that created Viagra. The Viagra pill was going through trial and had not been approved, but it was proven to work. Viagra was initially created for those who have heart conditions. The side effect of Viagra was that, you see, we all know what the side effect is.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy 64, he can now get it in like he 44. They pressed Martha Stewart. Exactly. They pressed Martha Stewart to sell her larger interest and shares in the company, which would not have made her the majority owner of the company anymore. She refused. I believed in this startup. Y'all didn't believe it. I'm not selling my interest, especially not now that we know that the test is proven. We just waiting for the FDA. You go back and do the case study, the FDA all of a sudden denied approval. She still did not sell her interest.
Mm-hmm.
But when the FDA denied the approval, I want to say probably it was her financial consultant, probably came to her, or her investment, whoever was in charge of her investment portfolio came to her and said, hey, look, now they done shot that down. You might want to sell.
30 seconds, Curtis. Mm-hmm.
That was insider knowledge. You know, they sent her to jail for a year and a day on that. But all at the same time, you telling me that people like Brady, people like Favre, can take this money and there's no conscious effort put forward to say, hold on, freeze. Feds is here. Pull out the books. Let's take a look. But
Mm-hmm.
yet you can do it to these women.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yet you can do it to black folks.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm gonna land the plane right here. The easiest thing to do is to separate the black folk from the women folk.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because once you do that, and you put the women folk in a position where, well, if I don't go with this, I might not eat. What is she gonna do? What do you think she's gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal.
She's a provider.
Exactly. Got to keep it moving.
Man.
Got to keep it moving. Let me see. We're going to go. If don't nobody else have anything they want to say on this particular topic, man, we got to keep this thing moving. I'm gonna go to my other topic. Anybody got anything on their heart? Cassandra? Okay.
I have nothing to say. Thank you.
All right, good deal. This topic that we're about to go into right now, it could be very touchy. It could be very touching. I spoke to my wife this morning. I said it's gonna be a topic that if we just say, I don't, we could take the attitude to say, I don't care. It don't matter to me. I don't care one way or another, and that will end the conversation 5 minutes. But if we really get into this thing and we really talk about the thing and get into the meat of this whole conversation right here, I think it's going to really help some people and get them to where they need to be. I'll put that out there before we even get started on the conversation. Rico, I'm gonna start off with you, brother. You there?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay. Rico, what we're gonna talk about is white man's view. White man's view. And the way that people outside of our community sees us. Do we sometimes contribute to some of the negative things and some of the negative ways that people outside of our community, I say white man view, it could be Indian, Jew, I just use that as an example. But do we in the way that we act and interact, do we sometimes contribute to the way that the negative way that people see us? 3 minutes.
I wish this was $1 million question, man. I'd be jumping up and down celebrating right now, man. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody, at some point in time, you have ignorant people or people that just, do things for attention or whatever that actually will, they will exemplify everything negative and justify the reason why they feel about it. Because guess what? I done been in the mall and been in the library and seen some of these older and younger black people, men and women, young, act such a fool to the point where I'm like, man, that's embarrassing. They acting just like what they said we do. But the same thing with a lot of white people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody that come on here ain't like Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul gets offended when, we start saying certain things because, for some reason that stereotype, like driving while black or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or clutching your purse when you see a black person. We categorize people and then put these groups in under this umbrella, and then we don't acknowledge the fact that every person doesn't act like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we do have to acknowledge that some of those things that they say that people do act like this. I mean, you got some people that say, man, I don't know anybody that's racist, and I don't know any white people that think like this or think like that. But then you get around them and find out they do. They just didn't say nothing. They've been quiet, or maybe they were just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know black people that didn't believe white people were racist until a couple of years later when they threw him under the bus, and then they found out he was.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time he was playing me too. I mean, but going back to the stereotype and the image, that we personify sometimes of people. You have those people and I mean, human beings, man, they act and come in all different shapes, sizes, and would come with different behaviors. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to, point the finger at somebody and say, see, look, I told you that's how y'all act. I told you that's how y'all act.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can look at somebody else that acts totally opposite of what you're saying, and then you have to find out how can you justify that other thought process.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the black man that's well educated, that has high standards, we were classified as being 3/5 human, and being uncivilized.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for work.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have pain, so they medically experimented on us because they got a higher pain tolerance, so we don't even have to get them anesthesia. We just cutting in them. They don't feel it, even though they're screaming and yelling. They just carrying on. Quit all that carrying on. You in your head right quick and see what your brain look like. So it's that stereotype that we didn't have pain and this and that, man. That outlook, so that was outrageous. That mindset to have, but that justified the means of the people that felt like medicine was more important than being humane.
Exactly.
But for the most part, we do. We people do in every category, in every race. Some homosexuals, we'll put, certain characteristics.
We gotta hold it right there, brother. Hold on. You well. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart? What do you say to that, Cassandra? Do we sometimes how we act, interact, and some of the things that we do we add on to the negative view that people outside of our community have for us?
Absolutely. someone sent me a video yesterday, and it showed a white female that was, I mean, battered. I'm talking, I mean, she looked, I mean, it was horrible. And on the video, and this is somebody I know, family, and they sent it to me, and he, a black man, was taunting her. He had beaten her. I mean,
Wow.
beaten her. She was emaciated. I mean, he had starved her. He'd beaten her. She had all these bruises all over her. And what a great video for someone to use to state against black men. And he was sitting there, you know, saying, "Hey, B, how you feeling? But what you?" I mean, it's like he was tormenting her. He was tormenting her. He's in jail. He's in jail. But I'm just saying that video, that one video right there, says all kinds of statements to both black women and white women.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Asking the question, we're talking about white man's view. And when I say white man's view, please don't take that personally. I'm just saying how people outside of our community see us. Do we contribute to the way that people outside of our community see us in the way that we act, interact, and some of the things that we do? Captain, what do you say to that, sir?
Man, I swear, I thought we dealt with that on one of these shows down the road. I just think you just rephrased it, you know? To be honest, man, I mean, I really don't care, man, what they think. I really don't care what white people think, Jewish people think. I really don't care. I do care what we think about each other. I really do. Because if we start worrying about what other people think, then we would never get to the question why. We should be talking about, Brother Raheem, why do we act the way we act? And if we get to the question why, it has a deep root. When we get to the question why, we just used to just act that way. 25, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, we did not act that way. There's a reason. If we want to really deal with it, let's talk about why and what is the reason. That's what's going to get Paul and Badger a little upset, because truthfully, it's going to lead to the way we was taught and trained and treated by white people. Not Paul, not Badger, but by a white, all-male dominant society that systematically had worked on us for 400 years to reduce us down to animals. It takes an animal to make an animal. It takes a savage to make a savage. Oh, no, nobody want to get to the reason why. What they think, and but what they think, Raheem. What do we think about each other? And if we think about it so low down the way we are, then let's ask the question, why do a man do what Sister said? Treat a woman, why?
Okay, but my thing is this right here,
reason.
Captain. My thing is this right here, and I have to go in this direction because of what you put out there. A lot of the way that our mindset and the way that we think about each other is based upon what was done. To your point, what was done to us, and that was poured into us. Did we always think about each other that way? I can't say I would. I would like to think not. I would like to think not. But my thing is, today, in this day and time, a lot of the mindset that we have about each other was given to us. And so now that we're here, I'm asking, what can we do? And I love what you said. What can we do? What can we do now at this point to rectify the situation?
That's what. Let's cut through the chase, man. That's what you want to say.
But in order for me to go from here Atlanta to California, I gotta travel the road. And what I'm doing right now is traveling the road.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll wait till you get there, brother. I feel you. That's all I got to say, right?
Okay. Good deal. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother? White man's view. Do we contribute to some of the things that some of the ways that they see us? Do we contribute to those things in some of the ways that we act and interact?
Yeah, it's interesting. I read this survey. This Thomas Sowell did a thing about the what he called the black rednecks. And he talked about those people that came to this country from Europe and other parts. They were crackers, that in the sense that they were not refined and civilized. So they became the landholders of these slaves, and that's why they sort of, like you said, they fed that into us. That was our environment, responding to these people that had a pride in just being a cracker, and we developed a pride in just being black, and quick to anger. Some of your arguments with a blade, or fighting at the drop of a hat. So what he said, that even when these people saw migrate, these white people from the South saw migrating north, and he started defining the characteristics of them, it was the same characteristics defined as us. And a lot of employees would not employ them if they had that southern drain or drawl to them. So yeah, we it's like the captain's saying, it's a process that brought us to this position. But when I look at it honestly, take it out of just this country and look in the world, it's something that's always inherent with man's relationship to man. Whether it's a different tribe, whether they speak a different language, it's always there. So to me, it points to a deeper element. I've said it all before. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, again, like I said, when I was I think I was 9 or 10 years old, my mother tried to get me involved with these white people that had day camps and stuff like that. I went up there and I was around those kids, and I didn't know how to relate to them. They were just too kind. They was too friendly. They didn't fight each other. It was like I was a misfit in the middle of that. And coming to my own community. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Hicks.
I thought so. Well, the misfit was that they behave differently. But we look over the annals of time now with rap music and young white kids embracing that culture, that you find the same attitudes that we have in the urban ghetto, they have in the suburbs with their own kids now. They talk the same, they walk, they wear their pants, everything, culture is spread in the sense that it's almost like a disease.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. We're talking today about white man's view. Some of the things that we do, some of the ways that we act as a people, do we contribute to some of the ways that they see us? And like I say, no, I'm gonna go. As a matter of fact, I was going to say something else, but right now I'm gonna go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Oh man,
3 minutes, Badger.
I know. Whew. That's honestly, it's crazy. One of the things Hicks brought up is also what I was going to bring up. We went from a society that was very particular about what was allowed on television, what was allowed on in music and different things like that. I remember it changing from like the 90s into early 2000s, and how music got so vulgar. And I was always called a weirdo because I didn't really care for most of it. It wasn't my thing. Because I found it very vulgar. And then I started seeing other music genres start doing similar things. And it's kind of mad at society as a whole in a lot of ways. Because here we are, you know, in the 90s, fighting to change certain mentalities and stuff. And then all of a sudden, a whole different version comes out. And it all is here because of the white politicians.
Mm-hmm.
The one, it's, I argue with white folks all the time, and I bring up fact after fact after fact. And some of them are just so blind, I guess. I don't know how to word it, to be honest, because I can't understand how they aren't able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Of these mentalities that have been pushed onto the different races. You know, I shared what I've got, how I was brought up, and how a lot of white folks in the South were brought up. You know, given the illusion that, you know, any poor black person you see is going to be on welfare and they have access to all kinds of things that we'll never get. And it was a lie.
30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
So here's this, you know, notion that's been pushed onto people from different perspectives over and over and over again, and it's sickening. And it all stems from the white folks back then, the Quakers, and things of that nature, wanting to get free labor. They tried with the Irish fought, they tried with the Native Americans, and most of them ran off or were killed or just died because of smallpox and everything else. And then they started bringing Africans over here. It's sick. And the fact that we're still not, we're barely recovering as a whole to undo thought processes that were shoved down everyone's throat. And it was done by white people.
Mm-hmm.
And any white person that's listening right now, if you can't see that, go see a go. I'm gonna say some things I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Do we contribute? Tucson, you there?
I'm working on the mute button, man.
There you
Now
go.
look, when I first thought that sooner or later you're gonna come to me, I thought about, now here he goes, and I'm trying to give up.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, in our private conversations, he would make the comment, I'm gonna have to substitute the N word for something.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would say, I'm trying to find a word that I can substitute the N word.
Hamburger. Hamburger.
Hamburger and fries. Hamburger and fries.
Mm-hmm.
The more I see hamburgers, the more I like flies. Right.
Wow.
From every race, creed, and color, there are some people that just act unruly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a gender, it's not a color. It's the individual person that loves to act a fool.
Yeah.
You ever saw a peaceful protest that turns into a riot?
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers show up.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So they say when the hamburger shows up, they say they all alike. Look at them. But that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care what people. I'm like Cat, man. I could care less what a person thinks. When you come to me, you better come correct. You better give me some respect because you're gonna have some problems. I'm not gonna act a fool. I'm not gonna do it. You might try to rile me up, but I'm not gonna get upset. I'm not gonna act unruly. I'm gonna calm down, think the situation out before I say a word. Before I move. I'm gonna scan through the whole situation, try to at least, and see, okay, if I react to this, what's gonna be the outcome? Now there are some people who don't do that.
Yeah.
They just act.
30 seconds.
And don't worry about the results. You know, and we see people doing stuff, and you look at them and you say, you just contribute to the cause. No, they ain't contributing nothing because they're not welcome at my house. They can't come. They're not even, you can't come in my yard. Get out of my yard. Because you're acting like a hamburger.
Wow. That hamburger fit. That hamburger fit, huh? Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sister. We're asking a question. White man's view is what we're talking about. And we're talking about, do we, as a community, do we contribute to the way that they see us in some of the ways that we act, interact, and some of the things that we do? Do we paint a picture, a negative picture in some of the things that we do? What do you say to that, Toya?
Well, you know, I'm not gonna say paint a picture. I mean, it is what it is. You know, if you're doing an experiment, then there's an outcome to an experiment. You know what I mean? So some of these effects of how we act, and we're talking about it all the time, is from the effects of going through some things in America. So it's not about painting a picture. It's about being the effects of something that was already done and caused. You know, so now with that, are the effects of some of these things they've done, do they affect us negatively and move on? Yeah, absolutely. Just like trauma would in any situation, you know? So we just got to be honest and clear really about, we're talking about a scenario in situations that was caused from America, and not just we decided to just kind of up and be a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the effects that are left after all of the trauma, yeah, I mean, it does fit the narrative, but this is textbook, right? So when you start classifying different things from a psychological level, this is the aftermath of it. You know, you gotta make things happen in order to be able to classify these things. So this is the aftermath of it. You know, this is the aftermath of the Stockholm syndrome of descendant slaves. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of works hand in hand. So you can say, oh, well, you're painting a picture, but it's happened for a reason. So yeah, we may fit some of these things because they were created. We may fit some of these titles, act some of these ways, you know, and fit the picture that was painted, but that was kind of the point. But again, we got to keep in mind what influenced these behaviors. You know what I mean? So
that's good.
When we act out, we act just as special as any other human. You know what I mean? It's not about color, really. It's about being humans. And when you get a specific group of humans that act a certain way, you don't think the KKK acted ignorant? You don't think that they fit the picture, fit the mold on what white savagery is? And what are conditions that contribute to them fitting the picture of what they say how barbaric white people are? It's the same thing when you try to say that black people are sticking to something that white people said we were. It's kind of the same way. You are a certain group of people that are used to a certain culture, do things a certain way, came up with certain activities, and then there's results of them. These are the results, and we are this way because we're a certain group of people because of, you know what I'm saying, the influence that left us that way. So it goes hand in hand, and it's not something that just up and happen one day. We got to be mindful of it.
Good deal. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. 3 minutes.
You hear me?
Yes, I can.
I swear, I wish that the world would stop making black folk responsible for the ignorance of other folk. You know, growing up, I had the chance to live on both sides of the track, both rich and poor, black and white. And the things that I saw in the white community wasn't no different, for real, wasn't no different from the things that I saw in the black community. The only difference was the white community wasn't over police. The only difference was the white community wasn't flashed across the news on the big screen and the smaller light. It wasn't. But you're seeing black folk flashed across the news. Truth be told, Cap, thank you, brother.
See that's you see what's happening right now is we let me stop the time. We're veering away from the question that I asked you. I understand that, and everything that y'all saying is very relevant, but it's not dealing with the question that I asked. I asked about some of the ways that we act and some of the things that we do. Do we contribute? I understand all the stuff y'all saying, and I'm not saying that you all are wrong, but that's going away from my question though. That's different from what I asked you.
Okay, it ain't no different right here.
But
I'm
it
sorry,
is.
I have to beg the difference.
It is.
Because the question that you ask already dictates to the people that this is who we are. And I can't go with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's you know what that sounds like? It sounds like I just ran into the police station and said, the booty bandit just got my booty. I got blood coming out my ears, my booty, my nose, and my mouth. And they look at me and say, well, that's because of the pants that you had on. When you ask that question, it states a state of being for a people. That's how some folks will hear it. I know that's not how you meant it, but how some folks will hear it is, oh God, here we go. Or, oh God, you hear what the Siggins is saying, ain't it? So see now, they know that they people got an issue.
Mm-hmm.
What it does is it drives the bus away from attacking the why. The why is simple. America, you get what you created.
Wow.
COVID. America, you get what you created. HIV/AIDS. America, you get what you created. Now, America has created this violent and destructive system, and now nobody want to stand up and say, you know what we did was wrong. We created an element in our society that will consistently thrive and breathe and live off of violence.
So basically what you're saying, and Curtis, and you at the top of your 3 minutes already, but basically what you're saying is we've become the very thing that we hate.
I ain't even gonna say we hate it, because to say we hate it would be a fight and a push to stop doing it. We don't hate it. It has become entertainment for us.
Wow.
And you know what? You know what's sad? What's sad is, going back to the premise of your question, what's sad is it's always perpetuated as African Americans are the most violent people in America. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. No, he's going to rob you. You know, just last week, right here, I'm going to land the plane right here. Just last week, my brother, every once in a while, I go downtown or I go shopping somewhere because I like to buy high-end stuff. So I go shopping somewhere where, in all honesty, it's probably me and 10 other black folk, me and 9 other black folk in the building or in the area. And I'm walking, and as I'm walking, the white lady, she got 2 kids, and her husband is coming in the opposite direction. You know I'm an actor, Raheem, so I pay attention to human behavior because I use it for material. I watched the husband, man. He damn near walk inside the glass of the stove. I'm sorry, brother. I got to call it like it is. He almost walked inside the glass to get to the wall. He didn't even switch. Okay, let me get on this side, put my family on the inside. No, he almost walked in the glass. I watched the lady snatch her 2 kids and put them inside, and then clutched her purse, Raheem. They were still 10 yards from me. So you know what I did? I started laughing. Oh, what's so funny? I said the fact that you clutch your purse and turn your kids to the inside, because I'm the only person out here right now probably that will protect you, your husband, those kids from any kind of assault. I'm a 3-time deployed disabled vet. I believe in what I'm walking on, and I kept walking and laughing.
Good deal. Good deal.
You get what I'm saying?
I do, but we gotta keep it moving, Curtis. Gotta keep it moving. Let me see. Let me go to Rico. What's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I'm going along with the fact that, you know, it is this behavior that we do see. It is acknowledged. It does give them credence when they see it, you know, but at the same time, we have to let them know, at least know that our feels where it came from. You know, I like where everybody's going with the conditions and the system they created, this mindset, and made it acceptable or made it a way of life, because some people actually do believe that when you live in certain environments, this is the type of way that you have to live. This is our standard. And so, you know, I'm along with everybody else. I could care less what they say or what they think, except when it's true. See, if they could use that negative stuff and point at me and say, look at him, we told y'all he's doing it right now. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the one that makes the lies and the most negative things they could say about us be true. So sometimes I see that. Just like with white people, you see Karens and Ken. You see them. They say they don't exist. I don't know any white people like that. You turn around and you catch them on video all day long, want to call the police because you barbecuing in the park on a grill. I don't think y'all doing this right. Why? It's just so suspicious about y'all. You know, they have feel-good stories sometimes. It was a guy in Birmingham used to walk to work, and the police pulled up on him and seen, it was like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, seen that he was walking to work, and this was his first day on the job, if I ain't mistaken. He couldn't believe, man, you walking this part of work and you done left out this time of the morning? So they went and made a big news story, and they, you know what I'm saying, they found a way to make the police and the white people that just look so good and charitable. When you make an effort and you come from all these bad conditions, look what we'll do. We'll help you out. They bought him a car so he could get back and forth to work, and it made national headline news. But guess why the cops say he pulled him over? Because he looked suspicious walking down the road that time of the morning. Huh? You mean to tell me that I got to walk down the road at a certain time? I wonder if he would look suspicious if he was black. Everybody ignored that. Look how great the cop was. He gave him a ride. Look how great the boss man was. He bought him a car. But the cop said, I only stopped him because he looked suspicious.
30 seconds.
What was he doing? Walking to work.
Walking to work. Yep. I saw that story as well.
Everybody left that part out.
Exactly.
Did nobody even pay attention to that? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, yeah, it's nice they did this. But in other situations where somebody is pulled over for doing something they shouldn't have been doing, they might end up dead. Because they didn't move the way that somebody wanted them to move, or maybe they felt like they were being confrontational. They didn't comply fast enough. So many situations, the same thing happened where somebody died and they didn't deserve to die. And it was all based off that stereotype. But like I said, you know, I don't care what they think. as long as I know it doesn't apply to me. You know what I'm saying? But when I know some of the things that they say about black people doesn't apply to me, but then I go right out and I see other people doing that exact same thing that they said, that bothers me.
Good deal. Good deal.
It bothers me because I know they got a leg to stand on, and then they got a reason to justify the bad things that they do and the negative ways that they feel about us that really aren't warranted. But once again, the umbrella.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this topic? And like I said in the beginning, we could say that, you know, we really don't care, and a lot of times we don't. But at the same time, that would end the conversation, and we would not be able to have the dialogue that we're having right now. So I'm definitely appreciative of the dialogue that we're having right now and the direction that we're going in, because we're actually going in a direction of solution. That's what we need to get to. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart?
Oh, yes, sir. I was as I was listening to everything, it's real interesting to be handling so well. I think about when you believe something. It says, "As a man believes in it, believes, so is it." You know, out of the heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And something Badger was saying the other day, I wanted to respond to it. I was thinking about it, and when reading the Bible, and I could relate to experience when I used to read it, looking for the contradiction, and not just with the Bible, but with everything I read, I would read these things and study these things, looking for the contradiction. And when you're looking for whatever you're looking for, you have this tendency in life to find it. You know, so if you have a belief system about these stereotypes and all that, you actually look for it. And sometimes you pull it out of people, the power that we have with our thoughts and mind. We don't even understand that the power of our belief system, our thoughts and our words, that sometimes we call out of people what it is we already believe. And sometimes the people on the other end, the white people, and I've experienced it on the other end, they're shocked that what they revealed, what came out, and they didn't know it was there inside of them. And so it's like the chicken and egg thing. What comes first? If you meet the person, you're looking for these things. You scan the horizon without survival. It's kind of thing, survival. Scanning it for threats, and you find threats. There are threats out there. I do believe that. But I believe that the core of our experience, there is what we call some kind of principle of law going on, some kind of law of attraction. You're attracting to you what you are. You know, I used to wonder when I got out saying, man, these police on the side of the road, how I'm going to handle that stuff. They pull me over, they check me, I'm going to have a record, and don't have to deal with all that stuff. And I looked at it, I said, why am I thinking about that? You know, it's been almost 30, 35, 40 years. I've never been stopped by police. I mean, basically what I do is I obey the rules.
Yeah.
I think once you learn what the rules are as a discipline, follow the rules, and it keeps you out a lot of stuff. You got to look for good in people to find it and win people over. I've had people that were apprehensive immediately, and I win them over through the fact they don't find any fault in me. They don't find the hatred in me. I look at them with a judgment of them. But it's each his own. We all in this world looking at it, experiencing. Everybody's saying it differently. Viewing it different.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. I'm going to read what Paul, public citizen, said. He said this right here. He said that I agree that conditions were created that led to the bad behavior, but what about personal responsibility? Cap, what do you say? Cap, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What do you say to that? I agree. Let me stop your time. Hold on, start your time over. I agree that conditions were created that led to bad behavior, but what about personal responsibility? That's what Paul said. What do you say to that?
Well, Paul, let me say this. I agree with you. We all must take personal responsibility for our actions. You're not going to get no disagreement there, Paul. But you cannot say that to a 2-year-old child. If a 2-year-old child come in the room and you see the room all messed up because there was nobody supervising the child, you can't look at the child and say, what about your responsibility of painting this wall with this crayon? When you look at a people that is mentally traumatized, and I would absolutely go far as says a handicapped people. Can you tell a handicapped or mentally challenged person what is their responsibility, their personal responsibility? See, what you keep applying, Paul, is the standard of normal for people that have been turned abnormal. So you want personal responsibility, but you don't want to deal with accountability. Yeah, Paul, I agree. But what about the accountability? What about the accountability of a racist, white, male-dominant society that have turned our people inside out? What about the accountability? Charge your own people, Paul, with the accountability of destroying a people and reduce these people less than human beings. Oh, yeah. I heard my sister talk about the savagery of a black man. Every one of us get upset with the savagery of our people. But do that take away my sensitivity to try to change the madness of black people? No. We all got personal stories about, man, that was some savage stuff our people done. Yes. But do that take away the sensitivity of Captain Dennis trying to go out there and change that behavior? A behavior that was created by a culture. A behavior that was created by a culture where everything that we have tried to do to get justice from a system that has not accepted accountability, Paul. When you accept accountability, we accept personal responsibility. I'm through with this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to Paul. Paul, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning. You caught me with food in my mouth. It's real early here too, so excuse me if I'm not completely together. But well, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I know a lot of damage has been done. But I mean, I just keep hearing the same kind of point, is that look what has been created. Okay, you can say that, but if that's a reflexive answer, then that's the reflexive answer from everyone or a lot of people. So I mean, I don't know how to respond to exactly to what Captain Dennis said.
Is there
I
any?
definitely don't agree on certain things.
Okay, I was going to ask you, was there, from where you're sitting, is there any truth in what he said?
Well, from where I'm sitting,
yes,
and that's very important. Is from where I'm sitting because you know I have a different life experience. I'm not black, so you know I can't say you know how you know how a black person sees things differently. But then again, not all black people see this issue the same way as well. I think one thing. Okay, let me just go with one thing that Captain Dennis has said in the past that I think is relevant to this conversation. Is he said that you know black people can't be racist, and I know what he means when he says that. He's saying that black people don't have institutional power to the same degree and can't exert, you know, widespread discrimination and so forth like that, the way whites could and can. But I think that kind of rhetoric is harmful because then you get people walking around saying, well, you know, these people over here say, and I've heard this a lot, heard this from a lot of people. We can't be racist, so then you're not accountable for your actions. You can disrespect people of other races. You can, you know, you can harm people of other races, and it's not going to be held to the same standard. Just like what happened. Look what happened last weekend in Houston.
30 seconds.
This black gun club people marching down the street, yelling racial slurs at all the Hispanics around there, telling them to go back to F where they come from, and we don't want you here, and we need our reparations right now. And you know, do you think that's gonna? Do you really think that's gonna build support for reparations? Give me a break. That's insane.
Okay.
So this idea that there's a different standard of accountability, I mean, you can go with that. It's just not going to get you anywhere in terms of political power.
Okay.
And this whole thing is about political power.
Okay. Hold right there, Paul.
You know, I'm all pro-black. Let's help these communities that need it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about we're marching down the street with guns, you lost me.
Okay, stay right there, Paul. Let me go back. We got Joseph here. I want to go to Joseph. We're gonna circle back around. But right now, Captain, I want to give you opportunity if you want to respond to what he said.
Let me tell you something. Them guys walking down in Houston, Texas, the new Black Panther Party with guns. All white people got to say is "make us," and that conversation's over with. No matter what we say, it's rhetoric, Paul. We could say, man, cracker, go back to the caves of Europe. All y'all got to say is make us. We ain't got the power to make you do nothing. It's rhetoric. No black person was armed, no black person was shot, no black person was lynched, no black person was. You gonna get upset with some mere words? We've been hearing words all our life, but the white people's racist words. We talking about you, Paul. But they did this to my man. Rico know the guy's name where they chained my man up in Houston, Texas, and his head got caught in the crevice. And that white people's rhetoric is what led to January 6th. It moved from rhetoric to action. Black people talk a lot of smack, Paul. We ain't did nothing to y'all. Show me where a black person killed a white person because he was white. Show it to me, Paul, and I'll shut up.
Okay. Let's keep this thing going. Now, let me go to Joseph. Joseph, what's on your heart, brother? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good conversation. Well, I feel like the policies of this country is intended to exacerbate those years of psychological conditioning and the years of oppression. They're just building on it, because how did we go from 370,000 people in prison in 79 to over 2 million after Reagan stepped down in 88? That was from policy. And then it said that we had 7 million people either incarcerated or entangled in the judicial system today. How did we reach 7 million when in 79 or before, it was only 370,000 people?
Mm-hmm.
The policies have changed. Even right now, there's a lawsuit pending against HUD because Trump went in and tampered with the housing foundation. So now you got the MAGA people using those tricks to bring back redlining, as it were. That's what's going to happen. So you'll have legal segregation again. And that's where some are headed. Now, people who don't want black folks living in the neighborhood probably points to that small percentage of persons who commit crimes. That don't define black folks. I mean, it doesn't define the black people who built those black Wall Streets all over the country, who started cities. It don't define us. Mm-hmm. But because of policy and because of racism, that deeply ingrained racism in this country and some of the people of this country is as if it's been passed down from generation to generation. Is as Jesus said, when the children are born, they're born vipers, but they're not born that way. But the system induces it. The education system, all those years of machination, trick, and deceit finds its way in the policies. And I really do believe, Raheem, that they're cursing this whole country. When you look at them floods down in Florida, Kentucky, and all across the country, the fires out west, I really do believe that these people are cursing this country and don't even realize it. When we start treating each other right and respecting the universal law, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and everybody get on the same page, I think you'll see a whole turnaround in this whole country. And then we could be that beacon for other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, I don't see this country going to ever reach its full potential the way we're going.
Wow.
And I don't think it has anything to do with innate behavior of black folks, because we were the most kind, hospitable people that welcomed folks into Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, that's what got us in trouble.
Hey.
So it ain't got nothing to do with the innate behavior of black folks. It has everything to do with a system that's bent on destroying black people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to destroy them too, because you'll reap what you sow in this world, and I don't care who don't like what Jesus teach, but you'll reap what you sow in this world, because the universal laws are going to see to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I just had to say that.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
Can I go after Toya, please?
Absolutely. Toya? Toya, are you there? Go ahead, Badger.
So, Paul, man, this is something, man.
3 minutes, Badger.
So there's a person on that group, and me and him vibe really well. And I don't know if I can say his name or not. I don't know how all that works, but me and him work really hard to bring up facts. Since we're on this topic, let's really dig into it. Those white folks that are, and if you look at the amount of black people, the amount of Chinese, the amount of, like, each race that's classified as a race, and look at their numbers, and then you do studies that throw out these numbers saying like 30% of white people are on this, 60% of black people are on this, and so on and so on. Those numbers are skewed. Now, and the reason I'm saying that is because it pushes a prerogative. Is prerogative the right word?
Yeah.
Narrative. Thank you. It pushes a narrative that black people get more than white people. It pushes a lot of narratives that is evil, to be honest. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a separation tactic. It's a race war. It's systematic racism. It's white privilege. That is what it is. Period. And the more you dig into it and you look at the numbers, you look at the statistics, you look at all kinds of things, there is less help in black communities than there are white communities. It's a fact. Maybe not so in California. You're one state out of 49. Out of 50, I mean. So 49 other states don't think like y'all.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Come live in the South for a while. Come live in the 13 states that were in the Confederacy, and then for about 30 years, and then see if you can say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you won't. Guarantee
Wow.
you. I'll take my own self out if you can prove me wrong.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Tucson, you had someone on your heart? Tucson?
No, I don't let things get to my heart. I just keep it in my head because you really don't want to know what's on my heart. I'm listening. And I'm saying to myself, now, there are people that have been saying the same thing. They've been having guns and doing more than that for years, like they own America. And that is no issue at all because they feel like, well, we can say that because we're true Americans. When you ain't nothing but thieves. And I'm just trying to get this thing because I don't want to say what's on my heart because I listen to people.
The day
I
Friday.
listen more than I run my mouth. Say it again.
The day Friday.
Yeah. So we got till Monday to let it brew, right? So you mean to tell me you gonna say you got a bunch of people yelling and screaming about go back to America or go back to where you came from? What? Hadn't you heard that before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? I mean, really? Is that a point? But hadn't you heard that before? And that's a point. That's somebody's not. I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just hearing. I listen.
Yeah.
I don't run my mouth. I try not to. But I listen. And that's a point. When I hear that all the time, I've heard that. You know, it amazes me how people that have been known to do cruel, vicious things just because they feel like they can. And when people make comments or make a stand because they should, and they don't do it just for selfishness, they do it for what's right. Then it becomes an issue. And you say, miss me with that. Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's why I don't never tell everything that's in my heart. I just tell what's on my head.
Wow.
Just saying.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Loving the conversation this morning. Absolutely loving the conversation. We're gonna go to Cassandra, and then I think we have Friday with us as well. I want to go to her, hear her heart. But Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
Yeah, I just want to go back, to your original question. And can you repeat that so we can all hear it again?
White man's view. Do we contribute to the way that they see us and the way that we act and interact and some of the things that we do?
Okay, Raheem, we do contribute. I want to answer the question that you asked. Raheem, we do contribute to the view that people have about it. Like some people say, I don't care, you cannot care. But the question was, do we contribute to it? Yes, we do. And I'm going to and see, I don't care because we need to just be, if we're going to be transparent and talk about a certain subject, let's just be transparent about it. Here it is, another news report yesterday, right? They arrested these group of teens that have been breaking into people's cars. They were, okay. And they arresting this one guy, and he's yelling to the cameras and to the neighborhood that B, his mama, is a snitch. She turned them in. And he just kept saying that. That B turned us in. She's a snitch. She's a snitch, y'all. That B is a snitch. Let me tell you something.
So he's trying.
Lord,
So he's trying to get his mama
Lord
hit.
help me.
He's trying to get his mama hit, calling
Lord
her a
help
snitch.
me. What the? Who? What? Who does that?
He's trying to get her
And
hit.
so, yes, we have to deal. And I love the CAP goes in and works. I work
Absolutely.
with teenagers, our young people, and I know I think Leonard does some work with them, and several others on here probably do the same type of work. But some of these kids, they don't care. Period. Who does that? This is your mother living in that project. This is your mother.
Exactly. Wow.
And you calling her a B and saying she's a snitch.
Putting a target on her neck.
A target on your own mama.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're gonna go in this order right here. We got a few people on the line. We're gonna go with Friday. We're gonna go with Willa. Willa's she's called in with us. I want to make sure I acknowledge her as well. And then we're gonna go to Annette. So Friday, what's on your heart, sis?
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
How you doing?
Doing good. What's on your heart, sis?
So I would say that I'm actually polar opposite. I don't believe we contribute to the viewpoint that in terms of the topic white man sees Black people, right? And the reason I say that is because the mass killings, the history of their own actions, we view them still as isolated. Those are isolated situations. Those are the few. That's not them all. For as much harm and damage they've done, they're still, quote unquote, the most trusted in terms of the bigger picture. I'm not talking micro communities and viewpoints, but as a whole, because that's the context. So likewise, if someone has already developed a viewpoint, it doesn't matter good, bad, or indifferent, that viewpoint is going to be what it is. And because they develop a viewpoint that it's been pushed through propaganda and narratives, then even for our few that are unruly, and not to say that those individuals don't need to be checked, chastised, and dealt with, they don't speak for the whole, but narratives that we also share in because we post ourselves because we think it's cool and it's funny. We want to put everything on social media and everything in the light. We mimicking that viewpoint of how they see us in ourselves. So we're not changing the viewpoint. So I don't think that we contribute to it because they've already made that viewpoint the narrative. So it doesn't matter what we do as Black people, they're still going to hold that narrative. We could get our whole community and population of Black people to be the most upright ever, but they're still going to highlight the one or two. And so I don't think that we contribute to how they see us. People see you how they want to see you, and until they want to change how in their heart, that's just what's going to be.
Okay, good deal. Let me go to Willa. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and good morning, Morning Glow.
Hold on.
Good morning.
I got to say it. Willa! Willa, what?
Hey, Raheem.
Hey, good morning. Sir. What's on your heart?
Hey, Raheem. Good morning. I got my cousin in the car with me, and we was talking about the subject and the question. And I'm glad Cassandra got the original question because I didn't hear it. But are we that influenced to other cultures to say we are the way that they look at us? And I'm going to say, do we contribute? And I'm going to be just like Cassandra and say yes. Now, in the beginning, their projection of us was based on the way that they treated us. If you want to go back in history, I'll say that. I'm going to say that. But now in 2022, I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact that our own culture do not have, and I'm not, if the shoes don't fit, don't wear it. And our own culture today, there is no respect for the elderly, for children, for even themselves on how we treat each other. You know, when I'm talking on the phone, sometimes I'm writing and we're going to work sometimes. And my cousin and them will say, we'll go through an area. They say, lock your doors, lock your doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, we're going through our own area. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Girl,
Mm-hmm.
then here we go. You understand what I'm saying? So do we influence the way other people think about us? And I'm going to say yes,
Mm-hmm.
we do.
Wow.
Because of the fact that we don't even show love one to another.
Mm.
It wasn't a white man that killed my neighbor's son. It was one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a white man that killed two of my cousins who were in their 20s. It wasn't. And I can go on and on here in Chicago. I don't know where anybody else lives, but I know here in Chicago, it's like living in Iraq. Even they have turned downtown, and that should be one of the high elite areas where people want to live.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying, you know what? I'm moving out of Chicago now.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere else. Now, I don't know where else that they could go. But I'm just saying what I'm saying right now. And that's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I was up there, I found a little town. I don't know how it is right now. It may have changed as well, but it's called Rockford. You familiar with Rockford?
Oh, yeah. Rockford is about 45 minutes to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that little town. It was a nice little country little town. I like that. But let me do.
I was going to say that. Nice little old country town.
Yeah.
But guess what?
I know.
Okay. That's all I need to say.
Okay. Good deal. I'm going to read this right here. This is something.
Watch your purses.
Exactly. I'm going to read. This is something that Paul said. He said, I think it is natural to care on what other races think about us. We should. Why wouldn't we? Seems pretty racist to not even care. He says, seems pretty racist to not even care. Let me go to Annette. Annette, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing it well. And you got a tie on and a white shirt?
Yeah.
Dang, looking good. Tell your wife I said she's doing an amazing job.
There you go. There you go.
I tell an amazing job. Okay, I gotta give props on first. I'm like, okay, stepping up the game.
There you go.
What I will say is that everybody wants to put a barometer, okay, on our white culture. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure because I'm part white.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother, her family was sworn to secrecy. So, there's so much that we put a barometer on that we shouldn't put a barometer on.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at all this culture of what, the white culture thinks of us, what does the Mexican culture think of us? What does the European culture think of us? You know what? Let me tell you, it goes back to capitalism. You know what they think about us? Guess what? We're going to make money off of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling everybody today, put a product on the market. Start in manufacturing. Start small. I don't care what you do. Because that tagline, that programming, we need to denounce. We need to cast it in the sea. No. It's not about what the white man thinks, right? Because he's part of our culture, right? Because you can't forget, the black man has pretty much populated the whole earth, okay? Military, all that kind of stuff. They've done an amazing job at doing that. What do we need to do from here is that we all need to really join together and figure out, how do we develop manufacturing? How do we develop the products that we need within the United States? Because, we don't want any other country to close in. And that's what I will say. As far as our young people, let me tell you, let's teach and train. When I was a former college coach, okay, Spelman, I was the first golf coach at Spelman College. You guys wouldn't believe that, but let me tell you, my dad was one of the unsung heroes of the PGA of America. So see, I learned so much at a really young age. And the bottom line was sports was amazing. And Raheem, look, I haven't forgot. Okay, Enrico says it. Hey, we gonna do this tennis, okay? and guess what? All the proceeds are gonna go to whatever everybody decides that the proceeds are gonna go to. All right, we're gonna charge because this is gonna be a big event. But the bottom line is it's about industry, right? All this propaganda, what the white people think, what the Mexican people think. No. When you look at it, they make money off of Black American consumers. It's deeper than that. And come back to me later, but that's my piece.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's on
I
your
really need to throw something in there, please.
Okay. Hold on. Let me go to Rico and I'll come right back to you. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I think she's right to a certain extent. They make money off of Black American bodies, period. I think about man, it's wild to say that, we can be able to do these things, but really and truly, we need to be trying to find out once we come up with this manufacturing or once we come up with this Black Wall Street, what are we going to do to make sure white supremacy and military, America's military don't come and bomb us out of it? That's what we might need to be trying to figure out, because we see now that can happen. It has happened a number of times. Right now, we have a lot of Black Wall Streets, Black small communities that just don't get the same opportunities that everybody else get because of this thing that we were talking about earlier, a double standard. See, we can't ignore conditions. We can't say, well, you know what? Yeah, we did wrong and we created some conditions, but what about y'all? So I'm like with Captain Dennis, you know what I'm saying? Look, you can't name one time that a group of Black people went out, broke somebody out of jail, put flyers out, invited people in from out of town, and had a picnic hanging in the middle of the city. You can't name that. See, the thing is I can start rattling off some stats, and it's going to indicate to you why it matters what white people think about us. And the reason why it matters is because they use what they think about us to make these laws and these rules. See, like in 1926, the state prison population was 38,318 people. 75% of those was white, and the other 23% was Black, 2% other. In the federal pen, it was 5,000 inmates, 81% white, 13% Black. Now you go to 1986, and the state prison population was 167,474 people, 59% of them white, 46% of them Black. Wow, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
Now something happened. What they trying to say? We just started acting uncivilized again? Or did they create conditions?
Looks like they froze once again. Give them a moment to get everything reset. I'm definitely interested in more of what Rico was saying. I'm kind of being reserved at the moment because I'm waiting for my turn to speak as well. This is one of the hardest topics to talk about, especially when bringing in different perspectives, different views, different viewpoints. It's a very difficult topic due to the way our current society is. There is such a clash of mentality and issues that have been brought into our society that is so strong that it takes a very powerful love to overcome. And there's a lot of things we have to combat, not just in ourselves, but in our communities as well, to overcome a lot of the things that we're talking about. And that's every community. The misdirections and illusions that are in white communities, to work together to fight against the systematic racism that is put onto other people, to bring more awareness and understanding. It's wild what's going on. One of the things I was going to bring up, and I don't know if many people know about it, but it's MMIW. Murdered and missing Indigenous women, that is still going on today. And there's a lot of things that are happening that's not as frontline news as it should be. Oh.
Okay,
They
hold on.
find everything negative that some of these white people think about us.
Okay,
Sometimes.
good deal, good deal. We got kicked out
But
there.
that behavior comes from a situation. It is not natural. It is created from conditions where you have to adapt to certain ways to survive, or you won't.
Good deal, good deal. And I want to thank y'all, man. Y'all kept that thing going. I definitely appreciate both Rico on the phone line and Badger on the video side. Definitely, I want to thank both of y'all for keeping that thing going. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here, man. There's a lot going on, and hold on, Badger. And we're going to actually probably going to extend this part of the conversation, probably Monday or Tuesday. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but just a heads up. I won't be here Thursday and Friday. That's what we're gonna be in. We're going to Houston. Gonna be in Houston for a couple of days. So Houston, we're coming your way. We're coming to hang out with you Thursday. We'll be the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so we won't be here. We'll be doing a rebroadcast on Thursday and Friday just to let everybody know ahead of time. Anybody got anything, man? Talk to
me. Before you move, you telling me when I was talking, it wasn't being broadcast, only people heard it was on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh man, goodness gracious, you got to do something about this, man.
It ain't me, man. It's the system. You know, maybe y'all saying too much truth and it's shutting us down. Y'all know how that thing go. It how do you say? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I hate that. I wish that didn't happen, because I know you were saying some very good things and feeding some great information out there. But ain't nothing I can really do about that. Ain't nothing I can do about it. When the system crash, it crashes, brother. Captain, what's on your heart? Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Badger. You was about to say something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was waiting for everyone to get back before I said what I was.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. We did. We here. Go ahead.
You know, I think it was Cassandra that was talking about Chicago, wasn't it?
No, there was
no.
Willa.
Who was it?
That was Willa.
Willa. Okay. It made me realize some of my responses were very reserved. And I need to I need to hit on that. This is probably one of the toughest topics for, especially when other races get involved. Because like I was mentioning, you know, while we were waiting for y'all to get back, reset everything, I brought up, and I don't know if how many people on here know what MMIW is. Murdered and missing Indigenous women. That is a huge thing that's going on right now in a lot of Indigenous reses and things like that. And I'm also working on trying to bring more awareness to it in the areas I'm in. as well as being an advocate for mental health and things like that, and even how racism and classism affects it too. There is one of the things that someone told me, um, and it's a reminder even right now, is most of the people I've ever been around have a very skewed perception of an autistic person. They have skewed perception of people of other races. And that goes for black people thinking almost every white person is a racist. It goes to white person thinking a black person is, on welfare and so on and so on, and Chinese people. Like there's all these perceptions that's been pushed that causes us to fight among one another. I'm trying not to cry. Sorry.
You good?
Wait,
You good?
there's a very, very, very powerful teaching that are we those labels and perceptions, or are we not?
Wow. Wow.
And as
Makes
an
sense.
individual that is labeled disabled, that is labeled with having a disease of autism that can be cured either by God or some other man-made concoction. Um.
Now be careful with that, Badger.
Oh no.
No. I mean, when you say God is a man-made concoction, that's
No,
that's
that's not what I said.
You didn't say
I
that
said
just now?
either by God
Oh,
or a
okay.
man-made
Got you. Okay.
medicine.
Got you.
Medicine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for letting me clear that up. It's or dealing with classism, or dealing with not being allowed to say I'm Native American on an application because I don't have a card that says I'm Native American.
Good deal.
This is the society I have to deal with on every day, of having to classify myself as something and not what my heritage is. So there are people out here that are struggling with all kinds of things, and there are those of us that fight hard to make sure whatever the narrative is that's pushed onto people, we stand up and make sure that to prove that narrative wrong.
Good deal.
That's the difference.
Good deal. Wrap it up. We got to keep this thing going. We got 12 minutes before we get out of here. We got 12 more minutes before we get out of here. I want to go around. Captain, what's on your heart? Everybody give me your quick version so I can touch as many people as I can as I'm going around. Captain, what's on your heart?
Brother, thank you so much for this great opportunity. The reason why I haven't been on is,
Yes, sir.
I busted my knee. We were having the first day of school. Peacekeepers, I had the peacekeepers volunteer to go to the first day of school, and we was there to receive the kids on the first day of school. I had my peacekeepers. I stepped out and busted my quad. I just had surgery. Brother Raheem, I showed him the picture.
Yes, sir.
And I've been down like 4 flat tires. It's one of the most painful things that have happened to me. Well, yeah, and I've been on the mend, so forgive me for not being on. So that's where I've been, and thank you so much for those who prayed and wish my speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
No more to say. Thank you for this great opportunity. Appreciate that, right?
Hey, thank you, brother. You're more than welcome, brother. You're definitely more than welcome. Anybody else got anything they want to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to say, Raheem, this has been a very powerful conversation, as most of the conversation I hear on this platform are. And man, you have some very powerful people commenting, and I value everybody's opinion and reflection, because I think the African proverb said it best: no one can know it all. They said knowledge is like the baobab tree. No one person can get his arms around it, but if we join together, we can all get our arms around thing we call knowledge and wisdom. So I'm so grateful for everybody's opinion. And I don't want anyone to think that I believe all white people are guilty of the policies that afflict Black people from the time we got here to the present. I don't believe that. I believe there has been many white people who have voted in our favor. There were many white people who were on the Freedom Rise. There were many white people who were killed down here in the South and up north, fighting and helping Black. 3 of them were killed in Kenosha, Wisconsin, by a deranged young man with an automatic weapon when they were protesting against George Floyd. So no, I don't believe all white folks curse with this. So I don't want nobody to ever feel that. I don't think most Black folks feel that way.
Exactly. Exactly.
We know who our enemies are. Thank you,
Mr. Hicks.
Yes, sir. Great conversation. Got a little frustrated along the course, but that's when you're dealing with issues so deeply ingrained. I remember having a conversation with a white person, and I was in that position that Black folks couldn't be racist simply because of the institutions. They had no real control over the direction of a whole people's direction, and sort of lost that friendship. But as I thought about it, I think a lot of times what we call racism is really bigotry. It's an individual thing. It's being bigotry, and that's that personal responsibility thing that Paul was saying. And I do understand the spirit he's speaking from.
Absolutely.
Long as we see ourselves as colors and groups and identities, we'll always have this conflict. When we see everyone through that light that's in all of us, that's from the Creator, as God's child, and not as a color or a race, but by the merit, content of the character and their words and their actions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Friday. Friday, anything on your heart, sis?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Toya with a T?
Thank you.
Toya with a T, you there? Okay, Toya may have stepped away. Kurt, talk to me, brother.
Man, I'm good. Man. I'm good.
Okay. Boy, I tell you, I ain't never seen y'all tongue tied like this, man. This is a topic today, brother. Cassandra, talk to me.
No, you know what? I'm gonna state it real. No, I can't let that go. I'm bothered.
I was wondering I know my brother now. I was wondering, brother. Go ahead.
I don't know anybody else, but I'm bothered.
Why you bothered?
Because we disallow, and I love, brother, I swear to God, I love you to death. I love you, man. But I wish you would stop. I wish that, man, stop using racist talking points.
Who we talking about?
See, I'm talking about Paul.
Okay.
That personal responsibility thing, that's got to be bothered. You started this whole thing, and I'm speaking with passion. I'm not angry. If I was angry, I would have hung up the phone. But you started this whole conversation. If I'm not mistaken, talking about Michael Vick, Tom Brady, and what was the third person?
Brett Favre. Yeah.
Brett Favre. Right?
Yes.
And let me tell you what is a racist talking point. I've been hearing it all my life. I done lived in the deepest parts of the north, the deepest parts of the south, and the farthest parts of the west coast. Whenever you have this topic of conversation and it appears that there's an inconvenient truth that's coming to the table, the first thing one I'm saying is, well, we want to talk about personal accountability. Well, why don't you personally hold your folks accountable for what they did?
Oh, come on, boy.
You got this governor in Mississippi right now that they know they got the documentation right. It ain't like a speculation, brother. They know he stole money. Him and the director of welfare. Where's the accountability for that when you got 250,000 people starving?
Hey.
They can't even take a bath.
Mm-hmm.
Forget drinking the water. They can't even wash their hind parts. Folk like that always want to go pull yourself up by a bootstrap. How a man gonna pull himself up by a bootstrap? He ain't got no boots. I heard somebody talk about the Mexicans. You know what I know for a fact? When you on that yard and you locked up and the Mexicans got a problem with the blacks, guess what? They shoot a fair one. They come to the black, look, well, we got a problem with you. In the yard, 3 o'clock, we're going to shoot a fair one. That's out of respect, out of understanding what we done gone through. Now it's time somebody say it. Stop sitting on it. Stop allowing for these crazy talking points to come up so somebody can say, yeah, you see, I told you so. If you want correction, then the folks responsible need to be held accountable. It bleeds my heart. One of my battle buddies is from Chicago. You take a bunch of poor folk, put a bunch of drugs and a bunch of alcohol, and then dump a bunch of guns. What's gonna happen?
Wow.
We talk about how they killing each other in Chicago, Ryan, but we ain't talking about how them guns getting there. And it made Obama sound like he was crazy when he told the American people, look, the gun routes is Highway 70 east to west, Highway 81 north to south on the east coast, Highway 101 on the west coast. That's the gun route. They'll slide down the 40 every once in a while.
Wrap it up for me, Curtis.
I'm rapping. I'm ready to land this plane, man. I'm going through turbulence.
Ooh.
Enough is enough,
I love it.
brother.
I love it.
I love you. Man, listen, I love you, Paul. You're welcome at my house anytime you want to come.
Oh,
but
I mean, I love it.
Hold on to that.
If you're going to speak on it from a perspective of holding the original person accountable. We keep locking up these dope boys on the corner. We ain't doing nothing to the distributor.
Good deal.
Nothing.
Good deal. Curtis, we got to keep moving. Curtis.
I'm a land like this, Raheem, being as though you made me go there. You got one I'm setting right now as the Senate Majority Leader. Family connected to all kind of drugs. You don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up. His in-laws are drug dealers. Look it up.
Good deal.
Why you think his wife was made the Secretary of Transportation?
Curtis, you got to keep it moving.
Look it up. If y'all don't believe it, look it up.
Keep it right there, Curtis. Keep it right there. Say yourself for next week, brother.
Go ahead, Curtis. Go ahead, Curtis. My man.
That joke on the road.
Amen.
Yes.
I feel the same way, man. I mean, that was what I said on the phone, and I know people didn't get to hear it. But that bothered me about that responsibility thing. Okay. You know, I'm gonna read this real quick. 84% of black adults say white people are treated better than black people by police. 63% of white adults agree. 87% of black adults say the U.S. criminal justice system is more unjust towards black people. 61% of white adults agree. There's something ain't right, man. It's a double standard. Something ain't right. Now, I'm gonna say this. If we hold ourselves responsible and accountable, is that gonna make them stop choking Eric Garner when he said he can't breathe? If we hold ourselves responsible and accountable, is that gonna get that white man's knee off of George Floyd's neck? Is that gonna bring that baby back out that woman's belly that they stomped in the ground after they hung her? If we hold ourselves responsible, is Trayvon Martin gonna be alive just from coming from a store getting Skittles in a drink? If we hold ourselves responsible, is Ahmaud Arbery gonna still be alive just for jogging? Are those people still gonna be held on the streets and be allowed to live on the street regular before they get held accountable for it? If we hold ourselves accountable, when y'all gonna hold yourself accountable?
Get out your feelings.
Okay.
Wow.
Amen.
Good deal. Good. Cassandra?
I have nothing to say.
Okay. Okay. Annette?
Hey, the bottom line, everybody brought it home, but there's accountability on both sides. And let me tell you why there's accountability on both sides, right? Because the knee on the neck, okay, the accountability was within the police officers right there. And all those people who were filming, why did they storm in on the police? Okay. So there's so much to really talk about of how holding people accountable, all right? It's holding everybody accountable. Not just white, not just black, not just Mexican, because everybody in the world, guess what? Black America is the soul of America, okay? White America knows how to foster patents and intellectual property and all that kind of stuff. And we need to merge together because Black America holds a lot of trademarks and patents that were stolen. White America knows how to get those patents, right? And the NAACP was founded by blacks and whites. Let's stop this inner fighting with each other. It's stupid. And guess what? Why we go back and forth, right? Who's doing something to produce? How pardons and paroles, okay, does not release, okay, people after they've served their times, after 25 years. So, Raheem, I love you. You're doing such an amazing job. And guess what? I applaud your wife in the foreground and in the background, but there's more that really meets the eye. And let's go to our young people.
Good
the bottom line, our young people, right? They're influenced by who they're around. Let me tell you, they get drugs in their schools, all that kind of stuff. We don't even know who they're being influenced by. It's a crazy thing. We're so busy working and doing all the kind of stuff that we need to do, but everybody knows what's good and what's evil.
Wrap it up for me.
My question and my challenge is, you know what? Choose good versus evil.
Good deal. Good deal. Willa?
Yes, Raheem.
Talk to me.
Now I'm going to take what's on my heart
Uh-oh.
right now.
I'm scared, Willa.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm hearing the conversation. I'm hearing it.
Yes.
And I agree that we were wrongly treated. I agree on our history. I agree with all that the white man has done to us. But that's a distraction. I always think about that word that Rico brought in when he said distraction. That's the distraction. We focus so much on trying to get back what they stole from us. We can't focus on what they stealing from us today. Do you know that we're going to be missing a whole generation if we keep going in the direction that we're going? Here in Chicago, every weekend, they're saying that there has been over 20 shootings. I'm not going to even say 30, 40, 50, and 9 died. If we keep going in that direction, then we're not going to even have a generation of a culture of young black men coming up. Stop the distraction. Stop looking at what the enemy is trying to put in our face and look at what God is trying to show us. We got to change, Raheem. I give homage to that woman that put her kids, that told on them boys. I give homage to them. 3 boys was on the train yesterday. White man not doing nothing, just sitting down. They going through his pocket, take a bottle of wine and hit him in the head. And it's on video. Come on now, Raheem. The distraction is we can't change our history. I understand the anger. I understand the passion. But look at what's happening today. We ain't gonna have a tomorrow if we don't focus on today.
Is today?
That's what's on my heart right here.
Is today a mirror of yesterday?
It's worse because we're doing it to our own kind.
Okay. Let me see who I got left here.
Hey, Raheem, Raheem,
yes.
Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson is coming tomorrow at the Capitol tomorrow to talk about this Black Man's March. I just sent it to you.
And no, I ain't gonna go there. Okay, good deal, good deal. Let me. I was about to say something, but I'm gonna hold that thought to when you and I are talking. Uh, Captain, what's on your heart?
Don't do it.
I know, I know. Captain, wrap us up, brother.
Man, y'all, I look like y'all restarted again. I thought we was wrapping stuff. Man, y'all got everybody fired back up again. You got me want to get back in the mix. You know, I mean, everybody said something. Willa spoke with passion. I hear you, Willa. You know, yes, we can't change what happened, what happened to us yesterday, and we're not going to blame. But they was responding to Paul. That's what I think everybody responded to. It was not that we had not accepted, but remember now, Willa, Paul was saying, when is they going to accept accountability? He said, when they're going to accept personal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So all those dudes that was killing everybody, when they're going to accept personal responsibility? We understand that. But I like what my man said. How you going to accept personal responsibility when you never been taught better? So let's not our business out and lay it at white folks. So I agree with you, Willa. That's what we got to do. We got to change those crazy black young brothers. It ain't Paul's job. It's not white folks' job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You should be talking to the black men on here, Will, and say, what are you black men going to do to help these young men get out this condition? How can a black man, young boy, call a black woman a bee and talk about, yes, I would love to go to Chicago and put peacekeepers around that grandmother and dare anyone who call us bitch to touch that one. That's what I do, Willa.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't just talking. Wow. We got to move from talking. I'll raise an army to protect anyone who want to snitch on them brothers, who want to disrespect our elders. That's me. Go on and look at the peacekeepers and know something about Captain Dennis. So we not talking. Let's talk about the solution. We got to go after and get them knuckleheads. Somebody got to make them an example, and it can't be white folks. They not their children. They our children. How dare any white folks live any way on how we treat each other? That's none of their business. It's our business.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to the business of keeping our business among the family and keep white folks out of this. They ain't got nothing to do with this. This is family business. And when we start dealing with our own kind in the way we got to deal with white folks, then just shut up. Don't tell us how we should deal with our own kind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have a word on how we got to deal with them? Because if we got to deal with them in a harsh way, keep your mouth shut. Because if I got to go after my people in a way that you may not like, then you better know you in trouble if you come any other way back into the black community and show us any disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Know
Wow.
that.
Exactly.
Know that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Good
Good deal. Good deal. We got to get ready to get on out of here. It's been a great broadcast, man. I definitely want to thank everybody for their input. And we're gonna touch this again. We're not done with this because there's a lot of other things that we need to talk about. There's a lot of layers that we did not touch, that we didn't even touch on today's broadcast. There's a lot of layers that we need to touch. And pull back a few more layers, and hopefully it's making a difference. So Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. And I wanted to tell Curtis, he just hung up on us, but Curtis, Paul said, I love you and you are welcome in my house as well. We agree 99.99% of the time. He said, but there's, he said, y'all agree. Majority of the time, y'all agree. So Curtis, if you're still listening, man, he said, you're welcome at his table as well. Now, we're about to get out of here. I got to find out if she's still here because we got the whole weekend. We got to go through the whole weekend, Rico. The whole weekend, brother. Is she here?
I hope so.
Willow! I think we might have lost it. Let me see. Let me try one more time. Willow!
Let's go, Raheem. Let's go.
Are you ready?
The devil was in that mute button.
Yeah, exactly. And I want you, Willa, in the course of your prayer, say a prayer for our brother as well. Like I say, he just had that knee surgery. We want to make sure that God have his hand on him as well. But Willa, you know what? Let's go.
And the people in Florida.
So, Raheem.
Yeah, and the
Let's
people in
go
Florida.
before the throne of grace this morning. Are you ready? Come on, y'all. Are we ready? Are we ready, Morning Glow?
Let's go.
Let's go before his throne this morning with expectations and with boldness. Let's thank the Lord first for allowing us to get up to commune one to another. I thank you, Lord, for that. I thank you, Lord, for keeping us. I thank you, Lord, for protecting us and guiding us, oh Lord. I thank you for the wisdom, the understanding that you give each and every last one of us, Lord.
Yes,
Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to soften the hearts of your people, Lord, and open up their minds to the truth, Lord. Show them your ways and line them up with your will. Father, we just thank you, Lord, for what you do in our lives. Father, I'm praying for each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Father, you know you are omnipresent God. Father, you know even before we speak. Father, you can do it even before we act. Father, I believe that you're already done. Father, I know it's your power that dwells in each and every last one through the Holy Spirit. I thank you, Lord, for what you do, Lord. I thank you for healing. I thank you for the word. Don't limit the Lord and what he can do in your life. Speak over your life. Whatever it is that you're going through, ask God to bring you through and out of it. Not only carry you through, but take you through. Lord, I just love it out of you this morning. I'm asking you, Lord, to do these things in your son, Jesus' name. I thank you, Lord, for Raheem. I thank you for the Morning Glow. I thank you for everything you do in our lives. And I'm saying these things, giving you homage in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Glory to God. Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Right.
Yes.
Just want to invite y'all to an after show.
Okay.
30 minutes. If y'all willing, y'all got time. Let's do an after show on my page.
Okay. Send me the link. You know, I came to you a couple of times, man. We miss you.
Well, you know, it's morning time. I'll be dipping in and out, getting ready, and then I'll be too far to run for the mute button. So let's carry it on.
Got you. Well, we're about to get out of here for today, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you. And what time is it? 12 minutes over. Y'all owe me 12 whole minutes. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:26. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Have a good weekend. See you Monday. God say the same.